Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello, and welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today. We are excited. Very, very excited.
We are.
As we always are for Crime and Sports. Thank you, first of all, for everything you've done for us last week and really always.
Yeah.
Thank you. You guys are amazing. Everybody out there is amazing who's listening to the show. If you're not listening, go fuck yourself.
I don't
But
care if
you're not listening, so you didn't hear that.
Right.
So tell one person who's not listening. If someone's sitting next to you, you have headphones on, they're not listening, just go, hey, go fuck yourself, and don't explain it.
Yeah.
It'll be fun for everybody. Then when you're done with that, give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, the purple icon. It helps a lot. We don't know why, but it helps drive you up the charts. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com right now for all of your merchandise needs and everything like that. So much stuff there. And also you can get tickets for live shows whenever they happen. They'll be there. There will be a Small Town Murder virtual live show,
Yes.
January the 29th.
Can't wait.
And it's going to be just like we're going to a theater and doing a live show. We're going to do the same thing, sit down, the visuals, tell a story.
It's a whole thing.
Do a show. Yeah, it's a real live show.
Yeah.
We have good equipment for it. It's going to be really fun, so check that out. Tickets are going on sale very shortly, probably within the next week, I believe. So we will keep you updated. You can also keep checking shutupandgivememurder.com.
Right.
Do that. Listen to Small Town Murder as well. And if you want shout-outs this week, you have to listen to Small Town Murder because Jimmy does not have his shout-outs. It's a long story. He's got some stuff going on. Don't break his balls. But
It's a long story.
it's a long story, so don't worry about that. There will be the full list of shout-outs, and it'll be even more complete because it'll be up to Wednesday. So
Yes.
we'll have that on Small Town Murder there. But normally, if you want to be a producer, you want to get shout-outs, and you want to also get bonus material, very easy to do at patreon.com/crime and sports. This week, oh boy, we have some fun stuff this week.
Oh.
Crime and Sports bonus this week is on the USFL. The United States Football League. Not the demise of the USFL. I mean, we'll be touched on a little bit, but watch like Small Potatoes or something. Read Jeff Pearlman's book because it's amazing on the USFL, and you'll get the demise, but kind of the crazy fun stuff. When you
crux of it all.
When you get these crazy, like, startup leagues and shit, it's there's a lot of weird shit going on behind the
they're taking
curtains.
such a risk.
It's a lot. So there's a lot of really fun stuff to talk about there, and we'll get deep into that. And for Small Town Murders bonus episode, which you'll also have access to, is going to be insane. We are going to compare. I've been doing a lot of research on both. We're going to compare Charles Manson. We're going to talk about Charles Manson, and we're going to compare them to Heaven's Gate. Okay? And we're going to compare and contrast
The cults
these
versus
two
the family and the gate.
very different cults that are more similar than you would believe, which
Well,
is
they've gotta
weird.
be.
It's interesting. So we'll get into that, though. It's going to be fun. Manson and Heaven's Gate together. You can't beat it. Patreon.com/crime and sports. Do that, and you get a shout-out, and Jimmy will mispronounce your name. In addition to that, if you just want to be a nice person and have good karma and also get a shout-out, you can do that as well over at PayPal using our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com. And boy, oh boy, we have a fun one today.
Terrific.
Let's get into it. We haven't done baseball in a while.
It's been a minute.
It's been like almost 3 months since we've done baseball because I'm going to be even more honest with everybody. There is not a lot of baseball players left.
They keep it pretty close to the vest.
It's
there.
just, you'll get like a DUI now and then, but it's not.
Play
the
pretty
level,
safe.
It's weird. The level of crime in baseball is not the same as the other sports for some odd reason. So
Why do you think that is?
I mean, I don't know what it is. Obviously, I think it's a less aggressive personality type plays baseball. It's a more passive person, so it's the same reason why you get less violent crime in basketball. It's a
you mix
more passive.
You mix
thing.
the aggression with the ego, and you definitely get a more dangerous human being. Yeah. But the ego's still fucking there.
Oh, it's huge, but the NFL players tend to turn their ego into violence a little bit more. It's which I mean they're just they're predisposed to do that. That's why they're playing football.
Right.
There's a certain mentality. And then you add in a lot of blows to the head.
Right.
And the ego and the money and things, and it escalates, and then you start doing violent shit. I think more.
Forget you can't hit out here.
Yeah. So that's how that kind of happens. So baseball, not a ton left, but this is one that I've had for a while, and it's a crazy one, and we're going to have a lot of fun here. It's Cesar Cedeno.
Yeah.
Ever hear of Cesar Cedeno?
I believe so.
He was around.
Pitcher?
No, he's a first baseman, and then he was a center fielder after that. And he did not play for the Expos. I'm going to save you a guess. Not at all. Before the Marlins existed.
Really?
So, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're going to go back in time a little bit.
Okay.
He played in the 70s and 80s. And he just couldn't... the shit this guy does.
Yeah.
He's like... it's a very Jekyll and Hyde situation with this man.
I love that.
He's such like this gregarious kind of guy.
Yeah.
And then he'll whoop a pregnant woman's ass at the drop of a hat too at the same time. It's a strange dichotomy we have with this man here.
How do you?
Cesar Cedeno.
Okay.
Cesar Eugenio Cedeno Encarnacion.
Yes.
To be exact.
May as well be a junior.
But
That's
Cesar Cedeno. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go. Growing up, actually, his parents called him Eugenio.
Really?
Yeah, that was his middle. I don't know. They called him that growing up. He was born February 25th, 1951. Mm-hmm. So he's getting up there now here.
Certainly elderly.
Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. He's born, and he comes from the Dominican is crazy for baseball.
Yeah,
they love baseball in the Dominican. I mean, these kids play a lot. It's, if they're not working, they're playing baseball a lot of the times, especially back then. It was really a big deal.
Now it's just a beach community where people that are broke go to get plastic surgery.
And play baseball, because you still get a shitload of baseball players from there.
I know people that went down there to get fucking tummy tucks, man.
They go to Mexico, too,
That's
I hear.
crazy.
People go to get, medical procedures done.
Unbelievable.
I'm like, okay, well, that's... I don't know.
We really got to fix healthcare.
Yeah.
We're exporting it? That's nuts.
To countries attached to Haiti.
Right.
No offense, but I mean,
that's horrifying.
You don't think I need top tier medical care? Can I get to Haiti? Isn't your first thought? Is all I'm saying.
No.
I've never been to Haiti. It might be wonderful, but I'm just saying.
What's going to go
it's
green?
Not my first thought.
My doctor won't get me a specialist. I'll go to the Dominican.
I don't know.
Heading to the DR.
That's an interesting.
Is it because DR is doctor also?
I think it is. They're just like, there's a whole country of doctors. They look at the map and they're like, oh my.
Oh, look at this.
Honey, book the tickets. They're all doctors. The whole country.
Going to the doctor.
It's going to be amazing. Can't wait. They're all accumulated on one island here. So his parents, though, Cesar's parents, did not want him to play baseball.
Really?
Specifically, his father didn't want him to play baseball.
Why is that?
Because he thought it was just kind of a childish pursuit to play baseball.
Just play a game? Is that
Exactly.
What
he wanted him to work in the grocery store instead, which was...
You're gonna go your job where they keep score? Is that where you're going to go?
No, we're not going to do that. Go over there and bring home a paycheck.
Right.
Yeah, that's what he wanted. So it's kind of the way it went down. And these guys played all day long. Yeah. So I saw somewhere people were debating how... would old players be able to play now and all that horse shit? And it's like, well, I mean, obviously, if you gave Ted Williams HGH and today's diet and told him to work out and, not fly missions in World War II in Korea, probably be fine, I assume. You know what I'm saying? Hand-eye coordination is pretty much hand-eye coordination.
That's the thing.
And someone was like, well, these kids now, they play a lot more with the AAU and all this. I mean, these kids now don't play at all.
Right.
They have only the games they play in organized leagues they play. They play 2 games a week in a certain number of innings because you can't mess up his arm. These kids back then and the people back then played all day, every day.
They play baseball like pickup baseball. They'll run
Sandlot.
9 innings and then be like, let's run it back.
No,
what are you talking about?
No, they play Sandlot. They had Sandlot leagues. These weren't AAU leagues, but these are Sandlot leagues that guys came out of. I mean, our last baseball guy, Blackie Schwam, was found as a Sandlot pitcher.
Right.
I mean, that was found a lot. Joe Garagiola, Yogi Berra, these are famous Sandlot guys that got picked up by major league teams. It's
running back 9 innings.
And then they just keep going.
Yeah.
And they'll play all day. They'd play till it got dark and they couldn't play anymore. And so you can't compare that. It's a different thing. So who knows who would be better. But he wanted to play baseball, and his father's name is Diogene, Diogene.
Okay.
Diogene? I don't even know how you'd say that.
Gene is very popular in their family.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's the through line. Now, I guess he was a manager in a nail factory.
Okay.
They made nails, I guess.
Lee press-ons?
That's what I was. My first thought was they're just making Lee press-ons.
He's the glue guy.
More red! Come on! Jesus Christ, how many people are wearing fucking blue? Let's go with the red. He's screaming.
I got all these packages ready to go. Somebody put the glue strips in here.
Then I thought about it. I'm like, the 50s. It was probably like
building
actual
supplies.
nails, I would think he's doing. Iron nails. And then his mother, I guess his father, also they owned a small little grocery store. Awesome. And that's where the mother worked.
Yeah.
She worked at the grocery store. Now, the father was like, you're not playing baseball, stupid.
Yeah.
You're going to go work in the grocery store, help your goddamn mother, and help put our fucking food on our table.
Busting her ass over here.
So his mother, though, saw what a passion he had for baseball at a young age and saw that he really, really wanted to play really badly. So while he was supposed to be at work at the grocery store, instead his mother bought him his first baseball glove.
Oh, she's just lying to dad.
And told him, go fucking play.
Right.
You're working. Don't worry about it. And get the hell out of here.
Bagging all kinds of groceries, this kid.
Oh, this kid, he's the best. Yeah. He bags like nobody. He never puts the eggs on the bottom. I've never seen him once do it. Fucking milk on the bottom.
Over to him. You better fucking make something.
You better do something
you
well.
You better make something.
I'm working a double today because of you.
He catches me. I'm going to get punched. You better figure it out.
Let's do it. So, yeah, he was... Father had no idea that the son was playing all day, and he was really goddamn good. Turns out he was really a naturally gifted. He's a great athlete, this guy. I mean, he's fast. We'll see. He steals a shitload of bases. He hits for power.
Really?
I mean, he's just a great player. If one thing that happened to him really, really ruined him forever, and guys would say, like, you can look at stats all you want, but everybody knows that he wasn't the same player after this day. Like, I don't care what his stats say. Wasn't the same guy after this. He just didn't have the same spark, didn't have the same whatever. Obviously, we'll get into that. Now, I guess he was getting scouts' attention playing at 16 years old.
Awesome.
They're signing kids young, too, back then. And one kid here, a scout said, quote, we noticed this kid and liked the way he moved, his actions and his size. By the way, he's 6'2".
Oh, that's great.
He's 6'2", real thin, though. Real thin. He was 6'2", listed at like 175.
And can run.
He runs like the wind. Yeah, he's a fast guy, which is why I think they moved him to center field, because he was a first baseman the whole time.
Yeah.
So
need him robbing home runs.
Yeah, well, a lot of times if you're tall, they put you at first base.
True.
Because you can stretch and you can get so
balls.
That's what they do. So I think maybe that's how he originally got at first base. He was probably just taller than the other kids. So anyway, they said we saw him throw, and then we saw him go up and get a hit and go up and get another hit. We decided we wanted to take a look at him. After the game, we arranged for him to go with us and some more players to San Pedro, about 60 miles away, for a workout Monday morning. So that's the other deal. They take him to San Pedro.
Yep.
He works out. He's back then too. The I don't know what it's like now because I know they were trying to change it, but basically you could sign anyone from the Caribbean.
Yeah.
There was no. Now I know you have to like buy contracts and shit, but back then you could just sign anybody. They were exempt from the draft. Mm-hmm. You could basically just go down there, scout, and buy children.
Was that basically baseball just being so arrogant of Americans? They're like, there's nobody better than us. Go sign whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, kind of, yeah. It's kind of what it was.
It seems like it.
Not even that. It was a matter of all of the teams had a wink and a nod at each other that this is our pipeline. We can buy these children.
Yeah.
At a young age. And also, you have to understand, they don't just find these kids by accident. There's people on the island that are getting cuts of whatever these kids. So there's guys that are basically like coyotes.
It's a racket.
That's what they do. Yeah. They take chunks of people's signing bonus and take more than they should, and they rob these people sometimes. They make them sign these things that they owe them money, percentage of their deals. There's been these people got arrested down there for pulling these huge scams on some players. It's
horrible. It's
a huge thing. So, but you could just not have to draft these guys. You can go down, sign them for whatever you want, give them a couple $1,000s, and they're, oh, wow, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money down there. Right. Boy, they're going to love it. Yeah. And that's what they would do.
That's maybe the scummiest thing I think possible to do somebody is just fucking leech onto them and just drain their money.
Oh, yeah.
It's so gross.
It's absolutely gross. Especially children.
Right.
You're selling.
There's nothing worse.
You're selling children for profit.
I mean, apart from stealing their fucking innocence, like that's pretty fucking gross.
I mean, they look at it this way, and I've heard some of the players who this happened to back in the day talk about it, and they said it sucked for a while. He said, but I'd still be on the island if it wasn't for that person showing me to somebody. So I'm happy that I got out. But what about the people who never made it big and just paid this guy half their money, and then they're back on the island with nothing, and then this guy's got half his money?
What's worse?
That's what I mean. So it's it's one of those
having
deals.
No talent and being stuck there, or having talent and still being
and
stuck
getting
there.
robbed. Yeah. So
God damn it.
They ended up. This is the scout down there discovered that the Cardinals had talked to Cedeno already.
Okay.
They talked to him. This was the scout from the Astros down there talking to him, but they said the scout from the Cardinals already talked to him and offered him $500.
Yeah.
And then $700 and then $1,000.
Oh.
And his father wouldn't let him sign.
Oh.
Cesar's father said no.
How much money you making?
Not enough.
Eugenio?
That's not. Yeah, he's worth more working in the grocery store to me. Is what basically the way he looked at it. $1,000. What's that going to buy me? I need a fucking guy that can stock my lettuce.
Yeah,
that's it. I got to have a guy I can trust at the register. That's kind of the way they were looking at it. So his father refused to let him sign. Cesar says, quote, he did not want me to play baseball, but to go to school. Okay. It's the other thing, too. His father said, you're 16 years old. Get your education first.
Yep.
And blah, blah, blah. And Cesar was like, this isn't really a thing that you can do later. Right. If they want me now, it's baseball,
They can always go back and get high school equivalency.
Yeah. This is in the late 60s. This is, like, where's 1967? Like, I want to go play with Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle and shit. Like, this is... I don't want to go to school. So, and that wasn't just down there. That was here too. Everywhere. Any kid, you could have got any 16-year-old kid in America and said, want to be signed to a big league contract? Right. Fuck yeah. They'd have threw their school books down, threw a match at that place as they...
There's a spot on the bench next to Roger Maris.
Done.
I'm leaving, Dad.
Yeah, throw a match on the hay bales outside as they fucking... as they drove away, honking and waving. Bye. So, I guess after the workout at San Pedro... These two scouts said the Astro scouts said they wanted Cesar, so they went to the Cedeno home with his parents to talk to them, and the Cardinal scout had just gone back to the U.S. and he was supposed to come back again to see him play, but he left without signing him.
Right.
So that's a bad move. This guy, I guess, the Gilich guy, the Astros scout, went back and forth with Mr. Cedeno, the elder Cedeno, offered him $1,200. No. Offered him $1,500. No.
Oh?
And he said, no. So I guess it went on over and over and over again and kept going up and up. And finally, another one of the Cardinals guys, they said the Cardinal guy is back again. Right. He came back to the island, and they said that he'd be over in 15 minutes. So the Astro scout said, okay. Goes to Mr. Cedeno, quote, let's settle this. I'll give you $3,000, which is twice what he had offered before and way more than the Cardinals. So then the elder Cedeno went, okay, now you got a deal. Which in the mid-'60s,
that's a lot of money.
$3,000 is about $40,000 now. And in the Dominican Republic in the mid-'60s, that was a fuckload of money.
Yeah.
I mean, not to be whatever, like, oh, that's a lot of money down there. That was a lot of money down there.
It's like 12 tummy tucks.
That's a shit. You could suck the fat out of people's asses for 5 years. You wouldn't have made that back then. I swear to God. You could have put bad veneers in people's mouths till the end of time, and you weren't going to make that down there.
Shave down that Italian hook on the nose. That bump.
That's what happens.
12 of them.
12 of them. Not going to work. Still not the same thing. So finally he said, okay. So they signed the contract. As the Houston Scouts, Gilich here, he's coming out of the house with the contract in his hand. The Cardinal scout was getting out of his car, and he just said, you're too late, pal. I'll hold up the contract. Got him right now. So
I spent $3,000.
Just in time. But he had to spend an extra $1,500, which, I mean, honestly, who gives a shit?
It's a pretty good bargain.
It's a pretty good bargain, especially what a good player he was. So this was when he was 16, playing against he was playing for the Dominican Republic, an amateur team. They saw him originally when they were playing against a Puerto Rican team. That's how it ended up happening here. Now, October 25th, 1967, he's signed by the Astros as a free agent, whatever, because there's no drafting for those guys. So he's signed there. So he's 16 years old, literally 16.
Playing in the majors.
No, well, they're the minors, but
they own him.
Yeah, they're taking him off the island and they're bringing him to go play rookie ball, and he plays for Cocoa and Covington. Covington, by the way, in the Appalachian League. Yeah. I think that's Covington, Kentucky, which would have been quite the culture shock.
A smidge different.
Yeah, Cocoa's in Florida, which, I mean, you could probably at least find some Dominican people.
Cocoa Beach?
It's just Cocoa, the team, so I don't know. But you could find, even in the 60s, you'll find some Dominican people or some people that, find food and some shit like that, but not in Covington.
No.
You are going to really be, wow, I'd feel like I was from another planet if I had to stay there. I couldn't imagine if I was.
It's just not a big city.
It's not, and it's very not Spanish at all. I don't think it's a very Spanish speaker friendly back then.
All right. How do you say moonshine in Spanish?
Yeah, that's the thing. He only knew one word of English, apparently, when he first came up. Nope. Chicken.
Really? Smart. That's brilliant.
You hear.
That is brilliant.
You hear it all the time of these players back then that would get signed and they didn't speak any English, so they would just, they only knew how to order one meal, so they ate the same thing for the first 3 years. I don't know how much of those.
Food.
Yeah, I don't know how much of those are true, or they say all he would do is point to the other guy's thing, so he only ate what other people were having. Apparently, this guy, at first, he just ordered chicken every time because that's what he knew how to say. So
smart.
Everywhere they go, chicken, and
that'll keep you alive.
And there's some form of chicken on every menu.
Absolutely.
That's the other thing. Yeah. Everywhere you go, there's some form of chicken that they'll give to you. If you say chicken, they'll give you food. Yeah. And he knew that. So,
but in Covington, it's probably the feet.
It's probably the feet, or it's definitely fried.
Yeah.
It's probably fried feet. I would assume.
Fried chicken tongues.
Fried them feet. This boy wants some chicken. He's 16 years old. He said he wants fried chicken feet.
Yeah, it's a drumstick. It's just got the foot on it still.
We just leave the foot on there because we're like, why separate them? Yeah. Everybody want the feet too.
You're going to get it in your teeth. You use the claws to get it out.
It's a little picker. That's you turning that bad boy around. That's so funny. You've never seen drumsticks sold with feet together. That's never. Nobody wants those two things at the same time.
I do, though.
You never do.
I want to see it.
I want to see it, but I don't know. Really
I want KFC to start that.
Start selling that. The only person that would buy it would be my grandmother. I don't know other people that eat chicken feet besides like old foreigners like her.
When I was a kid, though, I didn't know you don't know what any of those parts are. They tell you the breast, and you're like, is that really? I don't know what that is. I don't know how that looks.
Pork butt isn't the ass of the pork.
But if you put the fucking foot on a drumstick, you'll know damn sure where that comes from.
That's definitely the leg, I guess. This bird flew funny. So, he's down there. Mm-hmm. He also plays for Peninsula. I don't know where the fuck that is.
That's Florida.
Single A.
The whole damn state.
The whole damn state. He plays there. He plays in Oklahoma City a little bit in 69 and 70. Plays in Flint as well. These are all, Astro minor league teams. Yeah. And then June 20th, 1970, they're going to call him up because in the minors, he does pretty goddamn well. At Oklahoma City in 233 at bats, he hit 373, which is pretty fucking good. With 14 home runs. He's crushing it. Yeah. He's not doing bad at all. And at Peninsula, he hit 339. He had 24 stolen bases. So
he's good.
And he's friggin' 17 years old when he's doing this. So they're like, holy shit, he's ripping it up. They didn't really bring him up to AAA in 69 because they were like, we think he's too good for AAA and we're going to end up having to bring him up and we're not ready to have him yet, basically. So we're going to leave him down. Plays a little bit there in 1970 before they bring him up June 20th, 1970, which that means they like him. Yeah. Otherwise, they'd wait till September when they can just bring it up with the expanded rosters. So the 1970 Astros finished 79 and 83. Mm-hmm. So not that great. Mm-hmm. They were kind of mediocre, but they were a newer team too. They were, had only been around for less than a decade at this point.
Really?
Yeah, they were an expansion team in the 60s, and then they'd been in the Astrodome for 3 years now or something. So
fascinating.
It was all kind of new down there. So 79 and 83 they go. Their manager's name is Harry Walker. And we'll talk about him for a second because this team here, Jim Bouton, the guy who wrote that Ball 4 book, was on this team.
Okay.
He's on the 69-70, both teams, Houston Astros.
Right.
So he talks about Harry Walker and kind of what a stiff he is. He's a real stiff and the team is real wild. The guys are all wild, a lot of young guys and shit, and the manager's like this real stiff prick kind of a guy.
Okay.
He's a real ball breaker about piddly little things. One of those guys, annoying old fart. So That'll come up in a second because
there'll be no fun had at your job.
Well, there's a song, so we'll talk about it. Yeah,
I can't wait.
Basically, if you win, the guy didn't say shit, but then he'd break balls about little details if you were losing, details that weren't the reason you lost. So that's why the guys would get annoyed by it.
Yeah.
Like, that's not why we lost, asshole. You know, just because we lost, you don't need to have wisdom.
Right. Everybody struck out. Why are you telling us about base running?
Yeah. Coaches, they always say, especially old coaches, would have to justify their position by giving advice, even if it was, you know.
Right.
Jim Bouton would say all the time, pitching coaches, when they'd be going over before a series, they go over all the hitters with all the pitching staff and going over, and they're like, yeah, this guy here, you know, you want to bust him inside a little bit, but you get him on that third strike, a low outside strike on the outside black there. And they're like, well, yeah, if I could do that every fucking pitch, I could strike out everybody. You're telling me to be magic.
Right.
Yeah. Throw it perfectly right there where no one can hit it every time. It's going to be perfect. Yeah, that'd be great.
So you didn't do that. Yeah. That's why we lost.
The problem is I can't do that every time. None of us can. We're not magic people. So this team had Joe Morgan on it, the announcer and Hall of Fame second baseman, Bob Watson, who's another really great player, Doug Rader, who was a manager later on. What's his name? Larry Dierker is a young guy on this team. I think he's about 23 years old right now. Larry Dierker was the manager of the Astros for a long time. Okay. All right. Recently, too. Yeah. I don't know where the hell he is now, but I haven't paid attention the last couple of years. But Joe Pepitone, finishing out his career here with his fucking... He had, by the way, Joe Pepitone, hilarious. He had 2 wigs.
What?
He had 2 wigs. He had these...
Like hair.
Wigs he wore. And he had all the time. He had toupee because he was bald. So he had his gamer, and then he had his show wig, as he called it. He had his show hair.
He's got a show pony.
His gamer was a smaller one that fit under his cap a little better and whatever. And then he had like his going out hair that he put on. He had like a kit that he carried for his hair with blow dryers and
brush it and
things
shit.
And brushes,
Jesus.
And he had like a whole
that, James,
hair kit.
and your exuberant enjoyment of roasting this man about it is why I just shave it.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that.
Well,
I'm never living that life.
You don't have to get a dual toupees. Right. I mean, that's one extreme to the other. I think.
I mean, I got to have the gamer one that goes under the headset, and then when I leave here,
you want to put on your
got to put on the big quaff.
You got to put on the anchor band after that, which is what they call the that's your show pony there.
It's embarrassing, man. I want nothing to do with that life.
I'll take the anchor band. That's the one right there. Yeah, the quaff.
Have you got a burgundy around here? I'll take it.
That's the one. So
fuck that life.
All these people on this team. So it's a pretty stock team of like young people. Ken Forsch, Jim Bouton, like we said. Mike Marshall ended up on this team, who's a future Cy Young Award winner and a real kind of a hippie, spacey kind of guy, but real smart.
As a pitcher?
Yeah.
That's great.
It's great. Yeah, hearing him described in Ball 4, very smart, into geometry and angles and math and shit. Like he's a really smart guy. So anyway, all these guys here, they end up, there's a song that Jim Bouton talks about.
That they sing for the coach?
They sing it on the bus.
Oh, no.
Okay. And
while he sits in 1A.
While he sits up front, and they sing it loud, so he definitely knows they're singing it. But if they're winning, they nobody says shit. That's why they're singing it. Like, we win, so fuck you, basically. This is the song, and again, this is one of those things that was never meant to be public.
Yeah.
This is the guys sung this shit on the bus to fuck around, and some guy wrote a book, which is hilarious. Imagine now a team of baseball players writing a song, singing a fucking funny song in the back. Never in a million years would that happen. Shut the fuck up. I'm FaceTiming with my Instagram model girlfriend. Shut up. Right. I'm trying to fucking hear.
Yeah, but we're trying to sing a song about La Russa getting another DUI.
Dude,
won't you just get on board?
I got to post about this fucking product, bro. This is the last day. I told them they'd sponsor my shit. What the fuck, man? Shut up. I got to make a product with this lotion.
You don't
need
understand.
To make a video.
La Russa said, I'm a Hall of Fame baseball guy. We got to get it in the song.
We got to get it in the song. No, we can't. Hey, wait. Hey, buddy, here, stand next to me. I'm making a TikTok video. That's what we'd fucking have now, right. Not this. Right. All right, this is, the name of the song is It Makes a Fellow Proud to Be an Astro. Okay. And obviously this is they wrote it in 1969, so it's got some, corny old stuff in it, but this was very, very subversive for the day.
Sure.
Here. Now, a couple of things. Edwards is their catcher. Dave Bristol is another catcher here, so you'll need to know that. And Harry Walker is the manager. So, because they're referenced. Okay, here it is. Now, the Astros are a team that likes to go out on the town. We like to drink and fight and fuck till curfew comes around.
All right.
This is a good song.
Let's hear more.
We like to drink and fight and fuck till curfew comes around. This is like a Hank fucking the Third song here. I see Jesco White dancing to this shit right now.
It's certainly down the rung of the gene pool of the Williams.
That's what I mean.
And Hank 3 gets it for sure.
Amazing. Till curfew comes around. Then it's time to make the trek. We better be back by Buddy's check. It makes a fellow proud to be an Astro. So they like to go out and party. Now, Edwards is our catcher, and he's really number one. Dave Bristol said he drinks too much and calls some long home runs.
Okay.
Somebody making fun of him for being a shitty catcher. But we think John will be all right if we keep him in his room at night. It makes a fellow proud to be an Astro. Now, our pitching staff's composed of guys who think they're pretty cool, with a case of scotch, a greenie, and a beat-up old Whirlpool. A greenie is amphetamines, by the way. They used to take handfuls of amphetamines before the games until like 3 years ago when they banned them. So this is great. A case of scotch, a greenie, and an old beat-up Whirlpool will make the other hitters laugh, then calmly break their bats in half. It makes a fellow proud to be an Astro. And the last verse is, now, Harry Walker is the one who manages this crew. He doesn't like it when we drink and fight and smoke and screw. But when we win our game each day, then what the fuck can Harry say? It makes a fellow proud to be an Astro. And he said they sung the last verse with twice the volume of all the others.
Hilarious.
To fuck with the man. He would just sit there in the front of the fucking bus. They loved then what the fuck can Harry say? And they'd fucking really stretch it out.
I feel like this is what Wrestle Rock Rumble was aiming for. They wanted something this good.
No. This blows Wrestle Rock Rumble.
That's my point.
Yeah, this is the best sports song we've ever heard. We did a whole bonus episode on it. We've heard them all. This is the best one ever because it wasn't meant to be publicly consumed. That's why. This
is better than the Rockford Peach song.
Yeah,
this is fantastic.
Way better. Oh, I would love to hear the Rockford Peaches sing this. We like to drink and fight and fuck till curfew comes around. That's what I like to hear.
I want Betty Spaghetti on that track.
I want to see Rosie O'Donnell pumping her fist. Madonna's singing it out. See Gina Davis.
That would certainly be Madonna's line.
Yeah. Picture Gina Davis with that look on her face that she had, the scowl on her face. We like to drink and fight and fuck till curfew comes. No, it wouldn't.
It's like my husband's in the war.
He's in the war. So what else am I going to
do? That's a great song.
It's pretty fucking funny, I thought. I got a kick out of that shit when I heard it because I thought it just like 60s guys singing this to break balls is pretty funny. And you would never see a sports team do this.
Yeah, they're not publishing that for sure.
Well, no, they weren't meant to. But
they aren't getting away with that.
They just wouldn't sing it together.
Right.
They just wouldn't do it.
Even if a couple of them got it going, they'd be suspended for behavior detrimental to the team.
Probably, yeah. This was just like a bunch of guys giggling and smoking cigarettes and breaking balls in the back of a bus.
Enjoying their job.
That sounds like fun.
It does.
I want to be like that. I would love to be a baseball player then.
Right.
I wouldn't want to be an athlete now. It's too scientific and it's too it's just you're like you're a racehorse. It's not even the same thing.
You're the CEO of a company of your name.
Yeah, you're too under the radar. Back then, like that was you could have fun being a ball player. Yeah. You could go around and do crazy shit and sing stupid songs.
You could be under the radar. Now it's so above board. Everything's got to be in front of everybody. And Charles Barkley's slogan did not work because they still treat them like they're fucking like they matter to everything.
All role model all the time.
Don't.
Not at all.
Doesn't change a fucking.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, From Law and Crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories. 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
So in 1970 on this team, Cesar, so that sounds like a fun team to be joining anyway. So here he plays in 90 games, so plays the rest of the season. 377 plate appearances, 355 in the at-bats. He hits 310. He's a fucking rookie.
He's good.
He's 19 years old.
Unbelievable.
He hits 310. He's got 7 homers, 42 RBI, and 17 steals. So holy shit.
Rookie of the year.
Not bad. He doesn't walk very much. As they say in the Dominican, quote, you don't walk your way off the island.
Oh.
You hit your way off the island.
Genius.
Yeah, that's the old, you don't walk off the islands, the old thing that they tell the ball. That means swing the bat.
Right.
We don't care if you can, we don't care if you have a good eye. We want to see what you can do with the bat.
Pitcher gets unlimited walks or balls, so you just keep pitching. Keep hitting.
Like in the Moneyball book, they talk about how Miguel Tejada, when they first brought him up, that was it took fucking 8 years to break him of swinging at everything.
Really?
Because it's, you don't walk off the island. And that's what he said. Hey, you don't walk off the island. And they go, well, you're not on the island now. Now you're in a place where walks are good.
Right.
Walks are as good as singles, and they're way better than strikeouts.
This island's really big.
Take a fucking walk once in a while, Chief. But that's a hard thing to break people of because the scouts don't want to see you walk. They'll see you walk, go, yeah, he's got a good eye. The next guy comes up, rockets a double to the alley. That's who they're looking at. They don't give a shit about you walking. So, yeah, he does a great job, and he's 4th in Rookie of the Year voting that year. 4th, yeah. So, not bad. There's a lot of other rookies that year. I can't remember who won it. I know Nolan Ryan was a rookie in 69. I'm trying to think 70.
He was with the Astros then, right?
No. Nolan Ryan was with the Mets, and then he got traded to the Angels.
That's it.
He's with the Astros a little later on.
He was drafted by the Mets.
Yeah, the Mets got rid of him for somebody older.
Whoops-a-daisy.
For the pennant run, I think, the next year. Not smart, or to try to get a pennant run going.
Should have hung on to him.
A little bit. Yeah. So, 1971 season, now he plays 161 games, so he is in now. Playing a lot, 611 at bats. He hits 293. So, yeah, that's phenomenal. 293 for your second-year guy. 40 doubles. Leads the majors in doubles that year. Yeah, leads the major league in doubles. 10 home runs, 81 ribbies, 20 stolen bases. That's phenomenal for a rookie kid.
He's contributing.
And his on-base percentage is his batting average is 264. His on-base is 293. Okay. He's swinging it a lot. He strikes out 102 times, only walks 25 times, which is, you want that to be a little more balanced. Kind of the other way around would be better. So either way, 1972, though, great year for him. He hits a 320 this year with a 385 on base percentage. So that's such a big improvement.
That's impressive.
Huge improvement. 39 doubles, leads the majors again in doubles. So he's just hitting balls to the alley like crazy. And then he runs hard. He's fast and he runs hard. So if you're not on top of that shit in the outfield, he's taking second base on your ass. So one of those guys. He's got 55 stolen bases this year, 22 home runs, 82 ribbies.
That's great.
That's a monster line right there. And he's 21. He's 21 fucking years old.
Oh my God.
That's incredible for 21 years
Competing
old.
with adult men.
Oh yeah,
who have done this for a long time.
And this is 72. There are some goddamn Hall of Fame. Every line, we don't have 30 teams, so every lineup is stacked with Hall of Famers. I mean, the pitching staffs are good. It's rough. He is crushing it though. This year he's an all-star. As a matter of fact, he's 6th in the MVP voting, which is amazing, and he wins a Gold Glove, which is he wins I think 5 or 6 Gold Gloves in a row after this. So. pretty fucking impressive.
Yeah.
So impressive that people are comparing him to Willie Mays favorably.
Oh, Jesus.
They're literally saying he's better than Willie Mays was at this age because he's only 21.
Right.
Most guys don't come up till they're 22, 23. They're not even in the majors yet. This guy is already an all-star.
What happened?
And established himself so young. It's wild. Leo DeRocher was the manager back then. And if you don't know about Leo DeRocher, he's a psychopath. Is the best way to describe him. Would get fired for basically trying to gnaw people's faces off. He's a fucking maniac old school ball player guy.
Awesome.
Yeah, old player. He says about him, quote, at 22, Cedeno is as good as or better than Willie was at the same age. Talking about Willie Mays, and he played with him. He said, quote, I don't know whether he can keep this up for 20 years like Willie, and I'm not saying he will be better than Mays. No way anybody can be better than Mays, but I will say this kid has a chance to be as good, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, if a guy who, Leo DeRocher, who wasn't, by the way, one to be real complimentary to young players, said this guy could be as good as Willie Mays, it's fucking pretty impressive, I would say there. They also said, as another guy, one of the front office people said, quote, he's a completely different ball player now than when he first came up with us. He was like a young kid then. He was tremendously publicized, and that was too big a burden. He still played pretty fucking well.
No doubt.
That's not bad for having pressure, too.
Yeah.
I guess it helps if you don't read English. I'm not even shitting.
Yeah.
Like, if you see the papers, hey, there's a picture of me, but you don't read English, you're like, great, who cares?
Not distracted by all the food on the menu.
Definitely not.
Chicken.
Just a lot of chicken going on there. So he started learning English pretty early on, by the way, too. He was ends up very fluent. So he said, he was tremendously publicized, too big of a burden. He pouted when everything didn't go right, which is natural for a kid. We put a baseball uniform on a 19-year-old and expect him to mature overnight. It never turns out like that, though. No, it's ridiculous. Cedeno is maturing now. He's learning. He doesn't get upset the way he used to. He knows he's going to do it. Maybe he won't do it Wednesday and Saturday, but for the rest of the days he will. For sure. Imagine that. He's hitting 350 and still learning. My God. Because he was hitting, at this point in the season, he was hitting 350. They're saying he's still learning. Roberto Clemente, Hank Aaron, and Willie Mays, they talked to about him.
They asked those guys.
Who are, three of the top 10 ball players in the history of the fucking world right there.
They've never known anything about me.
No.
Nobody's ever asked Hank Aaron, hey, what do you think of Jimmie Whisman?
Hey, what do you think of him? Well, I'll tell you what. Now, I don't know about him in the field. Now, I've seen his gloves a little bit spotty, but at the plate, he's got a rocket in his bat.
He's got a big mouth.
That's how Willie talked to him. His voice was like, it was leaving him for some reason. I always liked that about Willie.
Yeah.
He always sounded like he was at I don't even know what the hell's going on. What the fuck is that? I was always waiting for that to happen, as he was always at that level. So,
say hey, Willie.
Say hey, with the three of them, that's Jesus Christ. That's
awesome.
That is quite the three. Like, even just saying their names in a row, you're like, oh God.
Are they all dead now?
Hank Aaron's alive, I think. Is he? Did he die recently?
I don't know.
Oh,
Willie
shit.
might be dead, right?
Willie Mays died. Roberto's definitely died
in
in a plane crash. Like, very close to this time. Very soon after this. Yeah,
Jesus.
He died in a plane crash.
I don't know if either.
Oh no, they're so old. They're not out all the time.
I mean, I see Hank hasn't. I mean, obviously he was old when I was born, but
he was.
He just looks like Morgan Freeman, just like gray hair.
Well, he's one of those guys that's always been old.
Yeah.
Like since I was a kid, I saw his old footage, obviously. But when we were kids, he had the gray hair and he was like an old
son
guy.
of a bitch. He's still alive.
Okay, I thought Hank Aaron was still alive.
86.
Yeah.
Holy
kick ass, Hank Aaron. It's fucking awesome.
Oh my God.
They asked them and they all said that he could be the next big star in baseball. They all said, oh, he's really, really good. Roberto Clemente talked about him because they talk about him being a hot dog, they always say. Back then, if you were flashy at all, you're a hot dog.
What's he doing to hot dog, though?
Nothing. That's the thing. And
Throw the bat fancy?
He was not that white. That was hot dogging, basically. That was code. That was code for, not white and exuberant. That meant hot dog out there where, you could be one of these goofy guy who was one of the fellas and it was fine to be a whatever.
Willie Mays is 89.
89. I thought he was still alive too. Yeah. Good for them.
Good for them.
Fucking killing it. So
still making money, I'm sure, on show-ups too.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine?
Oh, fuck yeah.
I'd love to hang out with Hank and Willie.
Yeah.
That would be rad.
I would say. They're legends.
I can't get Williams and Nelson. I may as well take those two.
Living legends there.
Absolutely.
It's pretty good. So, yeah, they said that he plays aggressive and all-out ball, and they call it hot dogging, which Maury Wills, who at the time had the record for the single-season steal record, I believe. Yeah. Maury Wills is a great base stealer. He said this. He said, quote, "When a player like Cedeno is on the other side, he's a hot dog. When he's on your side, he plays hard and is colorful." So that's basically what it is. And Harry Walker, who was the manager of Clemente, he had managed Clemente and he had managed Cedeno. He said Clemente and Cedeno are the two most exciting players in baseball today. Not too shabby. He said whether they're catching the ball or throwing it or running the bases or batting, they do it with an all-out flair. When they're involved, you're always on edge expecting something to happen. They make things happen.
Yeah.
Compliments. Yeah. Or hot dog, as it's known, if you're, not liking that sort of thing. He's got a good, strong arm. I don't think he's got they always say Clemente had an amazing arm, so I don't know if he's got quite that kind of arm, but that's okay. They say that he's 6'2", weighs about 180 pounds, and Clemente said, "Well, I'm only 5'11", and I weigh 180 pounds, and I hit the shit out of the ball, so not bad." He said, quote, "He's going to get bigger. When he gets full maturity, he's going to weigh 215 to 217 pounds."
Talking about him like he's your pup.
That's what I mean. I'll tell you what.
Look at the paws on this kid.
Now, his parents, if you look at them,
his chest is so big. He's going to grow into this.
So Cedeno said, quote, "Oh, no, I'll never weigh that much. If I weighed 215 pounds, I could hit that Texaco sign," which was it was all the way up top in the thing. He's like, "I couldn't fucking gain that much weight." Right. He's a skinny guy. I don't think he's probably not that heavy now.
Really?
No, I don't think he ever got there. So he is an all-star again in 1972.
He's great.
So doing great. He goes every year, too. He's been playing winter ball in the Dominican.
Just continues playing all year long.
He never stops playing.
Wow.
I don't know how the hell he has the energy to hit like that when he never stops playing all year.
And we're to a point where we see what happens to the elderly baseball player and how your body reacts to that over so many years. Yet he's still going to push it and keep playing every day.
He played 6 seasons there from the time he was playing winter ball from the time they found him here. He for the Estrellas Orientales.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That feels borderline racist, right?
I would say.
Feels like the Spanish people calling them Orientals.
I mean, unless their mascot is a rug,
right?
Then then it's a little.
If it's just a guy in the outfield with a walk, that feels a little racist.
That's a little racist. That's exactly right. It's one or the other. It could be fine or very racist. Unless he's cooking ramen noodles, then they have an Oriental flavor, so then that's fine too. So who knows? See, it's very confusing.
Jesus Christ.
Oriental is a thing or a flavor, not a person, I believe, is the point of this, but not on here. Yeah. They're saying these people are
the Orientals.
Spanish Orientales.
Okay.
So he plays there, and then he also played for Tigers del Licey in the 1972 Caribbean World Series.
Oh.
So he was there. 1973, another great season, 139 games played. He hits .320 again, so matches his batting average from the year before, which that's terrific. You want that. 35 doubles, 70 RBI, 56 stolen bases, which is just thievery on a huge scale.
He's consistent or getting better every year.
Yeah, 25 home runs. Now he's hitting for power.
Yeah.
He started out with 10 in 1971. Yeah. Now he's got 25. Now he's a middle of the lineup guy.
Right.
Not even like a top or bottom guy. This is, that sounded bad.
That's terrible.
I'm telling you, Jimmy, he was a bottom, but then he said, "You know what? No.
I'm going to clean up.
I'm hitting cleanup. I'm going to get on top and dominate this thing." So, he's an all-star again this year.
Yep.
11th in MVP voting, and he's also a Gold Glove winner again this year.
11th in MVP?
11th in the MVP.
How do you drop when you're getting better?
320, 25.
Everybody gets better.
Other guys had better years, and they weren't as surprised this year, so they didn't get the same attention because it's all voting.
Barry Bonds hits 25 after those seasons he has.
He's garbage that year.
He's in the dump.
It's absolutely right. So he's instead though he's he's just an established big league star at this point.
Awesome.
He's doing great, 2-time All-Star, better every year. Roberto Clemente says he could be me. Willie Mays says he looks pretty good to me. Grace. Grace.
He's proven it.
This is Grace, right? I mean, he is doing wonderfully.
Yeah.
And he is 22 years old.
Right.
And just sitting on top of the world.
And every year his mom turns to his dad and says, don't want to play baseball? Is that right?
Is that right? So, yeah.
So you're saying I was right?
So, yeah, I bought him a glove. That's right, I did. Yeah. Told him to skip a shift.
I'll bag these groceries. I know what you've got.
So December the 9th, 1973, he's at a hotel in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
He's not playing winter ball this year.
No.
His leg is a little messed up from the season.
Oh, so he's getting surgery.
So no, he's getting liposuction down there. It's cosmetic.
Hotel.
Yeah, that's where they do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the banquet room.
Right.
Yeah. Saturday, come see Dr. Orientale.
Right.
And you go down there and then they fix you right up.
They break you open and
no problem.
Pour you out and put you back together.
It's perfect, yeah. And put you in the walk and send you on your way.
So scary.
So he's at a hotel in the DR.
Yep.
He is married at this point. Mm-hmm. He is with a woman, certainly not his wife.
Oh, no.
At this point. So he's home, which, as we know, that's a rule. Don't go home.
Yeah.
He's home. He's with a woman who's not his wife, which I'm not judging anybody, but
Sure thing.
things tend to happen differently then.
Yeah.
So you got that going on. And he's in the Dominican Republic when he doesn't need to be while leaving his wife in the States. So all these things equal possible bad things happening. He, on December 9th, he complains he's in a hotel and he has $5,000 worth of jewelry stolen from his room.
Why do you have that?
Which back then, that's a shitload of jewelry.
Right.
I mean, that's 50 grand or so worth of jewelry.
Right.
So he's got a bunch of jewelry. Somebody stole it out of his hotel. He's not thrilled about this. He makes a report, calls the police, freaks out, does the whole deal. So 2 days later, same hotel, he has more troubles. I would say way worse troubles than his jewelry being stolen. Okay, now he's seen that night in several nightclubs around town there. He's hanging out, doing his thing, partying, drinking, just having a good time. He's off from work, do whatever you want.
Being the king of the beach.
Yeah, he's going home. He's he's a big star now. Right. Who wouldn't want to go do that? I'm sure that was fun probably. So afterward, at about 2 a.m., he goes to the Kiko Motel. Okay, this is in from what they're saying here, a very poor section of the city.
Okay.
He's going to like a dive hotel in a shitty neighborhood.
Okay.
Why?
As a star of the Astros.
You're a huge star.
Right.
You should not be doing this at all.
4 seasons for free in Houston.
You could walk up to the nicest house on the island and knock on the door,
right,
and they'll let you, come on in. They'd fucking put you up. They'd give you their bed probably.
We won't even tell your wife about these girls you got with you.
Shit, take my daughters. You're a fucking hero.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if you're from a small place like an island, and like I said, this isn't trying to be racist, but if you're from a small place and people have gone on and done huge things and are wealthy now and all this shit and world famous, you're like, wow, great, look at you. You're worshipped when you go back to a place like that, whether it's a town in the U.S. or an island down there.
You brought attention to our town. That's a big deal.
It's a big deal. Yeah. So he goes there. It's in the northern section of Santo Domingo. A motel employee said Cedeno was heard to be arguing with the woman he was with when he drove into the motel area. When they got out, they were arguing still. Okay. So he went into one of the bungalows and apparently was still arguing with the woman. It was a big fight.
It's not your wife. Why put up with this?
So I mean,
tell her to go home.
What are you doing?
Right.
Yeah. This isn't working out now, I guess.
We're fighting and we're not fucking. Why don't you leave?
Yeah, I don't get. Well, we're not together.
Right.
We're not legally bound to do this. You can go now. If you'd like to, you can go. So he ends up. The beer is served. And they end up, they call down for beers, and they can hear them arguing. They bring 2 beers to them, I guess a beer room service here. And that's how that went down. So they had been drinking, and apparently about 2 minutes after the beers arrive, employees in the hotel hear a gunshot.
Oh,
which that'll get your attention in the middle of the night. So after a short while, Cedeno leaves the room, gets in his car, and drives away. As he's pulling out of the parking lot, there's a motel employee standing outside. He yells to him out of his window, "Hey, there's a dead woman in my room," and drives away.
Please take care of that.
That's what he says.
I need more towels.
Yeah.
There's a woman up there I need you to pick up.
Towels up at 212. No, literally, he gets in his car, pulls out, like it's an afterthought. He didn't walk up and be like, hey, just to let you know, blah, blah, blah. You would, if you broke a faucet, you would be more like, hey, you got to fix the thing. Yeah. The air conditioning knob's a little... No, he's just pulling out and he goes, bye, dead woman in the room, bye, and fucking leaves. They're like, what?
Oh, boy.
And this is after, a minute after hearing a gunshot. So they're like, all right, this is interesting. What, is he serious? So he does that. An employee of the motel called the police. He's just like, well, let me call the police and let them find a dead woman just in case.
Right.
They do call the police. They walk in and they do find a deceased woman in the hotel room with a gunshot in her right temple.
Oh, no.
So bad.
Yeah.
Let's just say bad. Not a good place to be. Arguing with a woman, just going into a hotel room, having someone see you guys together arguing, they leave, a gunshot happens, and you casually drive away saying, clean up the dead lady, bye.
Right.
That looks terrible.
Sure does.
That looks as bad as anybody we've ever covered doing anything.
Yeah.
Like, this is like OJ level bad as far as like just looking at it from the outside.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, that does not look good.
The guilt level is fucking insane.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it from driving away.
I mean, for not what he feels. But,
the guilt as far as legality.
Right. In a
it doesn't look good.
It doesn't look good at all.
Legally, this looks terrible. This looks really bad.
That sure seems like you're comfortable with that woman being dead.
You didn't give a shit.
No.
You didn't run out. You weren't upset.
No.
You didn't call anybody.
You didn't call for help.
You just pulled out and were like, yeah, check the dead lady, bye, and then just kept going. That's not really showing a lot of concern for your fellow man here. So he ends up finally giving himself up at about 7 a.m.
Okay.
He pulls into the police station. Hey, guys, hey, did you find the dead lady?
Right.
Yeah. He said, according to the police, he said, yeah, it's I don't know, just happened. He goes, she was curious, because it's his gun, by the way. He says she was curious about it, and she grabbed it, and I tried to take it back from her, and her finger must have pulled the trigger and shot herself in the head.
Oh, that's a bad story.
It's not a great story.
That happens so few times, James. I'm going to bet on 0.
That sounds like, if you're watching Law and Order, that's a terrible.
Right. That's a bad right.
You're like, come on, that didn't happen. Well, that didn't happen. Okay,
Right.
Who actually killed this person? Because that's definitely not the truth.
I'm going to wait for this plot to unwind. Ice-T.
Yeah, exactly. Now, we have to take into account, like I said, I don't want to just take a shot at the Dominican Republic just because it's not as wealthy of a country and all that sort of shit. But especially back then, the police force was not, as we should say, kind of above reproach.
Sure.
We'll say.
You can get away with a few more things.
We're talking there was a lot of corruption going on, and a lot of you could buy your way out of things, and a lot of shit like that. So all of this from here on, I don't know what I trust out of this, put it that way. I really don't, especially once the Astros get involved and with their money and a 2-time All-Star on the line. I feel like the team would do anything. They'd kill 20 girls to keep this guy in the fucking lineup. Right. Let's be honest here. Silver-haired, middle-aged white men.
Lady Justice is blind there because she doesn't help with anything.
No, because she got her eyes stolen by somebody. That's
They
why
were gouged out.
They were gouged out because she owed a debt. So
the doctor wouldn't put them back in.
No, that's the problem. That's why she was there to begin with, was to get her eyes put. But
she was there for LASIK.
The gouging happened up here. She went back down there to have them put in. Next thing you know,
she came down for LASIK, and now she got a blindfold.
Next thing you know, I'm holding scales. I don't know what's going on. So the police colonel here, now this is what right away, the next day, the police start making statements in the paper.
Oh.
And I'm talking making statements that are, normally police at a thing like this, they will tell you like the
basic,
here's the how,
right,
and the where, and the when. That's about it. You know what I mean?
Rarely who.
They're rarely especially they rarely will openly clear somebody after 3 hours of investigation. So the police colonel said Cedeno had been drinking. He said that he told the police, so the colonel says, that Cedeno told us that the girl had picked up the .38 caliber pistol to admire it, and it had gone off when Cedeno tried to get it away from her.
Yeah.
That's his story. So, okay.
Guns don't just go off.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Well, here's my thing. They're arguing in the car. So they pull up arguing. They get out. They're still arguing. They go in the room. still arguing. They call on the phone for a beer, still arguing.
Right.
So this is a long, ongoing argument that's not over.
Right.
So 2 minutes, they didn't take one sip of beer and go, oh, that's better, never mind. That didn't happen. So sometime in the 2 minutes from the time they got a beer and were arguing to 2 minutes later, she was like, oh, cool gun, pick it up. And he was like, no, Tone, that's dangerous, take that. And then it accidentally went off. That's a really, I'm sorry, but I'm not trying to fucking judge whatever. I'm not, obviously, but
I can see two endings to this fight.
Come on.
Her holding it to her head going, I'll pull it, I'll do it.
Yep.
And then him trying to take it away, or her just really doing it, or him holding it to her and saying, look, bitch, I've had enough of your shit.
That's what I mean. There's not, but the scenario he presents
not plausible.
Is really...
She got over this 20-minute fight
enough
to compliment your pistol?
To play with your gun because it was pretty. No, I don't think so.
That's not how that goes.
Yeah, so the motel employee's name is Pedro Banks, and he said that he's the one who brought the beer, and he said he heard the shot about 10 minutes later, and then he called, that was when he drove out there. So, Jesus Christ. He left in his American sports car, is what the man said.
His Corvette.
So... The police then, the next day, they make a statement saying that, they keep reiterating his statement, basically. They're like, oh, he said that the woman grabbed the gun by the handle and pulled the trigger. He was just trying to pull it away from her. The police, it's a Smith & Wesson 38 caliber, by the way, that is owned by Cedeno.
Little snub nose.
Yeah, he's not charged with illegal possession of the firearm, although... he was, I guess he was legally authorized to carry it. The shooting, the woman's name is Altagracia de la Cruz.
Oh.
And, she's 19 years old.
Beautiful name.
Altagracia.
I can't say it, but it sounds
Altagracia
great.
de la Cruz. Yeah, if she donated money to us, we'd be in a lot of trouble. Jimmie would spend 4 minutes trying to figure that one out.
Tell her it's beautiful, I'm sure.
You have a beautiful name that I can't pronounce.
I can't do this.
So, she was 19 years old.
Oh, my God.
Which is wild, ridiculous. They are accusing Pedro, Cesar, because there's also, I pictured Pedro Serrano instead of Cesar Cedeno. Serrano and Cedeno in my head. Sorry, Major League is just, way different guy. So Cesar is accused of voluntary manslaughter, which Serrano was never accused of.
No.
He did sacrifice that chicken and steal some rum. Or no, that was Harris that stole his rum.
Right.
But
he did sacrifice the chicken.
He sacrificed the chicken, but he didn't kill a human that I know of anyway in the movie. They didn't show that part anyway.
No,
it could have happened.
Jobu was very happy.
That's what I mean.
He took the chicken.
It could have happened. Yeah. I'm not saying it didn't, but it could have. But we didn't see it in the movie. It wasn't in the script, or at least not in the final cut. So he appears before a judge. The district attorney said the accusation is listed along with other unnamed infractions of the criminal code. He is kept in jail with no bail under preventative arrest and is not released, I guess, because he lives here and could flee, I guess they're thinking. His father showed up at police headquarters 8 hours later. Going, couldn't have just worked in the grocery store, eh? Really?
He woke up and saw the news and was like, yeah, you bought him a glove, huh? You enabled this?
I told you not to buy him the fucking glove! God damn it!
You gonna apologize to Mrs. Iglesias Agnicious mom?
Come here, bring his little brother over here. I'm taking that fucking glove away from him too. Apologize to Agnicios. The fuck is her? Altagracia. It's Altagracia. I don't mean to make fun of her name.
There's no way I'm getting it right.
Altagracia. So
apologize to her family.
Apologize, goddammit.
This is your fault.
Jesus Christ. So, they said that Cedeno's wife was Cedeno's wife wasn't in the States. She was at his parents' house in Santo Domingo. So he had his wife there, left his wife with his parents, and went out to get some strange.
Wow.
And then she ends up being shot in the head. So there's a lot of explaining to the wife.
Yeah.
There's a lot of explaining to the wife here.
No matter what happened.
Yeah, I would say. You know who else was down there? John W. Mullen, the Astros assistant general manager, ran right down to Santo Domingo to talk to both police and Cedeno at police headquarters. No shit.
Yeah.
Silver. Here's the silver-haired response here. The word. This is amazing. This is what Mullen. This is the the assistant GM. He says the word that this was, the word is that this was an accident. That's what Cedeno said. He said he had a gun. He has a permit for it. She asked to see it. He said no, and she tried to wrestle it away from him, and it went off. It's listed as an accident. It's been accepted as an accident. Wow. It's been accepted as an accident.
That's some really sweet. What?
Wow.
How did that?
I mean, Jimmie, argue with a woman at 2 in the morning outside of a hotel room, go into the hotel room, order alcohol.
Right.
10 minutes later, have her be dead of a gunshot wound in the head. Then you just leave and yell it out the window as you leave. And I wonder if you'll be in the same. You think so? Think we'll be okay?
Even if I am okay, I'm not even married to her. Emily will have some questions.
Well, that's the other thing. Yeah. And by the way, you left Emily at your mom's house. Close by while you were doing this. You are.
My life is pretty well fucked up.
You're shit on like 8 levels, man. I mean, your dad's there looking at you bad, talking about why'd you get a glove.
Right.
Emily's pissed at you. She's dead. The cops are obviously mad at you. This
is a mess.
This is a bad night. So he ends up spending Christmas in jail. Mm-hmm. He has to spend Christmas and New Year's Day in jail. A prison spokesman said, quote, that Cedeno was, quote, quiet but sad.
Oh, boy.
He said he listened to music and ate typical Dominican food delivered to the prison by his relatives. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's nice there. He's being kept obviously in jail here. They said, this is the prosecutor, said, quote, it is only natural that Cedeno spend Christmas in jail as the courts go on vacation Thursday, December 20th until January 8th. It's like, we're not holding him here. It's special.
Right.
It's because we're closed for a couple weeks. I guess
we're closed.
We're closed.
Yeah.
He's being held in preventative custody there, which means it's their most modern jail. He has his own room there as well. They're giving him his own. He's got his own room in the jail. Yeah. He's basically like a mobster in Goodfellas in prison, doing whatever he wants and being told that I'm sure it's fine. It's all accidental is what we're being told.
We'll deal with this in normal business
This
hours.
is why. What's this girl's life worth? Not a whole lot, nothing. It doesn't seem like, right?
No.
Doesn't seem like it to me. Wait till you hear.
Oh, boy.
You're going to fucking be mad. Everybody get ready to get angry in a little while here. So they said that, quote, the Cedeno case is a special one. He's no common prisoner. This is the district attorney talking. Cedeno refused to talk to the press, saying, quote, you know everything there is to know. Yeah, they set up special facilities for him to meet the press and all that sort of thing. Yeah, 2 baseball players who visited him during the weekend said Cedeno was, quote, dancing to American music in his room, which they said is not common in a cell. Dancing, obviously, because you're in prison.
You're usually not very happy.
So most of the people are contemplating.
It takes a certain level of cheer to do any sort of dancing.
It tells me that seems to be all worked out.
Yeah, it seems to be fine.
If I was being held over Christmas because I came home arguing with a woman, ordered alcohol, then a gunshot went off, she's dead, and I just said, bye, I have a fucking dead body, and then I was in jail, I would not be dancing.
No.
I would be like, whoa, this could be really bad for me.
Right.
And he has more of the everything's going to be all right now. He's fucking.
That's what he's dancing. Yeah.
He's fucking. Woo.
Yeah.
He's fine.
Oh, my God.
He's good.
In the 70s, dancing to American music, it's disco.
Yeah. He's just fucking. No, he's like inspirational, happy songs. Get into it, man.
It's all kinds of Bee Gees.
He doesn't care. Yeah. And then, maybe some Bee Gees in there. More than a woman to me. He's fucking grooving. I just picture him.
Yeah.
They're like, dude, what are you doing in there?
The Americans stopped me. The Americans stopped me.
Bro, what are you doing?
I went to America. I only knew chicken. Now I know this.
Now I know chicken and more than a woman. Much better. So, too great. So, these dancing to American music. Meanwhile, his wife, Cora, kept to herself. They said she hasn't been seen since she went to court with her husband. And listen to this judge's name. Socrates Curiel.
Oh, my.
Socrates.
I'm scared of that guy.
Yeah, I would say. He's in charge of the investigation. Okay. So he's going to look into this shit. According to a family source, she's been deeply moved and does not want to talk to anyone about the case. That's the wife.
The word is embarrassed.
Yeah.
And furious.
Very embarrassed and angry.
Yeah.
Out of 15 witnesses called by the judge for the questioning, only 3, including Cedeno, have been questioned before Christmas. The judge refused to make any kind of statement while the case is under investigation. Lots of people covered it, obviously. The ball player, they said that in the Dominican, he's being criticized as a bad example for our youth.
I would say so.
Because he's a hero.
Yeah.
So anyway, was scheduled to leave for Houston, but not anymore because he's in jail, obviously. Mm-hmm. Officials of the Houston Astros, including General Manager Spec Richardson, visited Cedeno after the incident, saying they did so in order to assure him that that they would back him up in this plight. Yeah. That's what they said. Meanwhile, you went down there to throw around some fucking muscle, and some probably dollars, is what I'm thinking.
Plight.
He's
got a plight.
He's got plight.
No.
Think about what's happening here.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Wow.
This is fucking crazy.
In your plight.
Your plight. He's got plight.
Unbelievable.
What the shit? I mean, nowadays, a team would at least want to separate themselves from the whole incident. It's pretty sleazy.
A body? Forget it.
They're down there flying down to visit him in jail. This is nuts. And go to his court appearances and shit. So January 16th, 1974, he goes to court down here in the DR for this whole thing. By the way, here's a picture of him in court.
That's the court?
That's the court. And he's like up at the panel. Look at his, first of all, he has got a nice tight fro going on.
It's a good one.
He's got some serious 70s shirt happening.
Yeah.
Buttoned down to the sternum, unbuttoned to the sternum, butterfly collar. It's impressive.
He looks like if LeVar Burton was like a playboy. He's got
the 70s
real
LeVar
nice
Burton
70s,
hair. Yeah, he doesn't look like LeVar Burton at all. But he's got the 70s hair. He's got that hair, but the shirt, he looks just like 70s out to the max. It's a really, really good look for him. Sweet.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel. Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer.
I can really show you how to make some money.
And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you. The people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
Look, so Cedeno in court told the judge that the shot which killed the woman was completely accidental. He says Ms. Dela Cruz was handling the pistol when it went off. Police said that they did tests. They don't show the tests in court or have any evidence of the tests, but they tell the court they did tests, and it was her that fired the gun based on their tests, is what they said.
Okay.
The judge went, all right, I guess that's how that. So he's originally charged with voluntary manslaughter, but after Christmas, it is reduced. The charge is reduced to involuntary manslaughter, which is accidental killing.
But in the DR, what's the difference?
Well, he's released on $10,000 bail for the actual trial here. His wife was at his side during the hearing and everything like that. And, everybody, Spec Richardson's down there, everything. He is found guilty of involuntary manslaughter, which, it sounds bad. So this is after a 1.5 hour trial. And here we go.
Hour and a half
trial. That should be enough. Guilty of involuntary manslaughter. And now it's time. You, sir, may fuck off. Dead 19-year-old.
Right.
Okay? $100 fine. Free to go, sir.
I was joking.
$100 fine.
That's what her life
Remember
is worth.
when I said, what's this young girl's life worth?
$100.
About $100.
$100 cash.
$100 cash. Enough.
What the?
Same amount that gets Stevie sprung from the fucking pen is what gets.
That's the guilty. Like
Guilty.
Stevie's was bail.
Yeah.
This is guilty.
$100 cash.
Holy shit.
$100.
Oh my God. James, that's terrible.
Somehow that seems lighter and more insulting than if he was just not guilty.
Yeah. Yeah. It's much more insulting than not guilty.
If they came in and he was holding a gun that had smoke coming out of it, literally smoking gun in his fucking hand, still
$100.
$100. I would rather in that scenario he be found not guilty than this is very offensive.
Unbelievable.
$100. That is
my word.
Just nothing then.
Right.
$100? Don't put a price tag on her then.
Right.
This is crazy. So
I mean, in terms of what that does for your local economic, you know what I mean? That does nothing.
No.
What is that?
It's just to clear it out.
Boy.
He's guilty, so we have to have something. What are the things? We can fine him or put him in jail. Well, we're not going to put him in jail, obviously. That's why Spec Richardson's here and all the, Astro brass.
I'm stunned.
Yeah. This is why there were some nefarious things going on. There's no
Sure.
way that money didn't exchange hands or, come on, man.
I can't believe that's real.
That's what I mean. That's crazy. That's fucking insane.
That's worse than OJ getting off for it.
It seems it's more insulting,
Absolutely.
Right? Not guilty is like, oh, they messed up. The jury messed up or whatever. If you think he's guilty or you think he's not guilty, they said he's guilty, whatever the case may be. But to be like guilty, just drop 100 in the basket on the way out and then get on the next flight back to Houston is like, wow.
Involuntary manslaughter, that's still like a felony, right?
I mean, there's a dead person.
Right.
We're saying that. Anytime there's a dead person, if you're guilty of something, it should be more than $100, I would say. I don't care what it is or how it happened. If you're guilty of anything causing that whatsoever, voluntary, involuntary or not. Holy shit, man. That is something else. That's all I have to say about that. Now, everybody said that was his... After that, he's never the same player. Everybody said that.
I would hope so.
After this, he's never the same guy. They said his stats are similar, but he's not the same guy. He doesn't have the same verve. He doesn't have the same...
Right.
There's just something missing from him. He doesn't quite have the same
it's called
exuberance.
PTSD. You watch the life leave a human body, and it's probably your fault.
I hope that messes him up. Well, I don't think it's so much that as it's... all now he's being talked about. This is in every newspaper every day. Yeah. It's all in the press. Everybody's asking him about it. Every time he's around anybody with a notepad, that's all they're asking about. Not how you going to hit this year, what spot in the lineup you're going to be. It's, hey, so you killed some chick in the Dominican, huh? Right. I mean, it's all that they do.
Did it make it into the team song?
Yeah. But Cesar Cedeno will cut your throat, you fucking whore. And ba-ba-ba-da-da-da-da, he'll shoot your temple more. And then he's gonna drink some beer and take his wife and call her queer. That's why he's proud to be Cesar Cedeno. It's his own song.
It's awful.
That's his own song. He's got his own verse.
I hope they put him in there. But don't go on dates with Cesar.
When he's armed. You'll fight and go to motels and drink beer until something. I don't fucking know. I was looking at this next thing now. Until the dawn. There you go. I got lost looking at the thing to see where we were, and I fucking lost my spot. I'm like, damn it, I lost my song. Can't look at my notes while I'm doing that.
It's extra words.
It's extra words. That's exactly what it was. Yeah. I saw All-Star Game, and I went, that doesn't rhyme. It's exactly what happened.
All-Star
Could you see it in my eyes?
Yeah. No,
I know. I
know.
I don't know where the hell my head just went.
My brain works the same way.
Yeah, I have. Don't look at the words.
I was trying to listen to music while I was writing names down today.
Good luck.
And I wrote the lyrics to a song that I was listening to. Thank you so much, Chris Stapleton.
Thank you, Amanda. You came and you gave without taking. What?
Unbelievable. Thank you, Amanda. You are like just strawberry wine. Tennessee Wine? I don't remember the song. God damn it. I'm a mess. That's the point. That's how it works. You can't read at the same time as singing.
It's
you
not
can't
going to
write while you're... No. It's going to fuck everything up.
It's going to mess it all up. So 74, he's still an all-star this year in 74, too. He plays in 160 games. And this is the period the Astros are just mediocre as shit. They're like 81 and 81, 2 out of the 4 years.
Yeesh.
You know, like 79 and 84, whatever the hell. Just messy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just garbage.
500. You
500.
win a couple, lose a couple, win one.
That's all. But he plays in 160 games this year. Hits 269. So his average goes down 50 points. That's noticeable.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, 26 homers, 102 RBI, which is the most he's ever had there. 57 stolen bases. Which ain't too shabby. Not bad. So, I mean, pretty good. He's still an all-star. He's still a Gold Glove Award winner here, so can't say anything about that. 1975, he plays in 131 games. This year he hits 288, so gets it back a little bit. Hits 13 homers, so half of what he had the year before. 63 ribbies. Not bad, but still 50 stolen bases. Wins a Gold Glove that year, but he's not an all-star in 75. 76 here. He plays in 141 games, 279 he hits, 14 home runs, which is 18 home runs this year. He hits, has 58 stolen bases, and does make it to the All-Star team in 76.
This guy would make $100 million today.
Oh, he did have a $100 million contract.
Oh,
absolutely.
My. Oh, boy.
Absolutely. They would have signed him before his initial deal was up.
Yep.
To sign him, to lock him
cash.
down. He would have made big money. So, 1976 All-Star game, he calls his shot.
Really?
He does a Babe Ruth.
Oh, boy.
He points, and then he hits a fucking home run.
Really?
He did it. Yeah, he called his shot and hit a home run. This is the weirdest thing ever.
I thought Babe was the only one that did it.
No, he did this in an All-Star game.
This is unbelievable.
It's insane. So he calls the shot, and everyone was like, holy shit, did he just do that? He stepped to the plate. It was in the 8th inning, especially, which is amazing. He called the shot, and then he hit it, and he just laughed his ass off all the way around the bases. He was laughing and shrugging and being like, that's ridiculous, isn't it? His All-Star games there's nothing at stake. They're just having fun. Right. So the other guy's not mad at you.
Sure.
Even if he is, back then he played in the other league. You're not going to face him anyway, so fuck him.
Right.
He said that he did mess up, though. He said he didn't point to the right fence.
Oh?
He poined, it's like, left field and hit it to right field.
Whatever.
So he goes, what are you going to do?
Still there.
Yeah. He said, I can't believe I predicted it. I'd never do that. He said, it just hit my mind. I looked over at our dugout and saw all those guys were watching. All of a sudden, I just did it and couldn't stop laughing. He was doing it just to fuck around with the dugout. Like, I'm going to hit a home run. And then he did it. He said that he was being heckled by people there, by Johnny Bench and John Montefusco, who's got a great name, Montefusco.
It's brutal.
You would mess it up bad.
I love that Johnny Bench is there.
Yeah. They were messing with him. He said from the bench, they quote, Bench kept saying, get ready, here comes the gas, and I just laughed and laughed. Carlton Fisk, the American League catcher, asked me what was wrong with me.
Yeah.
They thought he was nuts, basically.
That's another catcher I know.
Yeah, Fisk. Yeah. I guess these are the two from the 70s that you mentioned when we talked about that.
Did I say Fisk?
You said Fisk and
That's
Bench.
what I know.
Yeah. So I guess he was looking for a fastball, and this was a fastball pitcher pitching, so he thought maybe he could do it, and he was just fucking around. 1977, I know what salary he made. It was the first time I get to see his salary. He made $185,000.
Oh, he's loaded.
In 1977.
He's got all kinds of cash.
Which, and for inflation, it is $794,913.86.
He's
today.
doing great.
So that's fine.
Yeah.
Doing fine. The Astros kind of sucked through this. Also in 77, he appears in a movie.
Oh?
He is in Bad News Bears Breaking Training.
Really?
Remember when they're at the Astrodome?
I don't.
That's Cesar Cedeno. He's got the hat around his afro.
Why don't I remember that?
Yeah, the kid points him out, says, that's Cesar Cedeno. Holy shit, what the fuck, man? Blah, blah, blah. Remember, let them play.
Yes.
That's that.
He started it.
I don't think he started it, but he was in it. They just were like, it's Cesar Cedeno.
Hilarious.
He's like, hey, kids.
Yeah.
I killed a lady 3 years ago.
Post-woman murder.
Yeah, I killed a woman just like your mom 3 years ago. Yeah.
Was the bad kid the one that recognized him?
I hope so. There he is. He's a murderer. Right. He's my idol. Look at him.
I spent time in the joint with that guy.
Yeah, hey, there you go. Hey, you got a smoke? So, 1977, Houston here. He's 141 games. It's 279, 14 home runs. 61 RBI. So as you can see, he isn't the same guy.
No.
He's just not the same guy, not the same pop. Not an all-star anymore. So, you can see kind of how that pattern is going. 1978, I believe, is when he had a leg injury, pretty good leg injury. Only played in 50 games, hit 281 that year with 7 home runs, but he's not playing that much. 1979 season, 262 he hits. He hits again under, what does he have, 6 home runs this year in 132 games? That's not very good.
That's not good at all.
No, 54 RBI, only 30 steals too. His steals have gone way down. Again, not the same explosion. This is around the time they get Nolan Ryan.
Okay.
And they get good.
Yeah.
This is when they start going to the playoffs a couple times, which is interesting here. 1980, he hits 309 that year.
That's good.
That's getting better.
Yeah.
309, 10 homers, 73 RBI, 48 steals, so getting better. There, he's 13th in the MVP voting that year as well.
That's good, too.
So not bad. They go to the playoffs, and they lose to Philadelphia in the playoffs. Okay. In that series, he only hit 182. So not terrific, but, it's only one series, so what are you going to do?
And they won that year, didn't they?
No, they didn't. Philly went to the series. Yeah, not Houston. So 81 with Houston in the 81 season, he only plays 82 games. He hits 271. They go to the playoffs and lose to the Dodgers that year. So he hits 214 in that series. So he's not ripping it up in the playoffs, but that's fine.
Right.
1981, he also had a little bit of a highlight, I would say. I would call this a highlight. Okay. He went into the stands to beat the shit out of a man.
Oh, my God.
He jumped into the stands and pummeled a man. So
for likely bringing up the dead chick,
he pulled a Vernon Maxwell.
Yeah,
and it was in response to a heckler who was chanting "killer, killer, killer" over and over again. So killer, killer.
You don't say that to a fucking killer.
Well, he came in the stands to prove it. He came in the stands to show him how nonviolent he was,
right?
And how
I am not mean.
I'm not mean, as he's pummeling his mouth. So he's initially suspended for this, which. Yeah, you went into I don't care what the guy's saying. Yeah. Get security. Right. You're a player.
He's doing nothing that
you can
hurts
go, hey, throw that guy out. Yeah. And they'll throw him right out. Done.
Right.
End of fucking story.
Especially today.
Yeah, even back then. The player said, toss that guy. He's tossed.
Yeah.
That's it.
Shit, you can do it from like 2 sections over today.
Oh, yeah.
They flash a number on the screen that says, anybody saying anything rude, text remove player to this number with their seat, and we'll get rid of them.
That's nuts.
They do it all the time.
That's crazy.
We have a family environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I've had 8 beers and I want to yell at this guy who sucks. That's why I paid $40. So I could yell at him while I'm on 8 beers. That's the point of this whole entire thing.
This experience. Yeah.
See this stadium, all the stuff, all these seats and lights? Yeah. There's a reason why it's here. It's so I can drink 8 beers and yell at that fucking guy. That's why.
I got a fantasy team. He's fucking up my lineup.
I know there's kids. I brought mine. I'm trying to teach him how to go to a baseball game. Drink 8 beers and yell at that fucking guy.
We're bonding.
What are you not understanding about this?
I'm a good father.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the players, we like to drink and fight and fucking screw. Okay.
Make up your mind.
Make up your mind. So Cedeno ends up also being fined. At first, he was suspended indefinitely while they figured it out.
Oh.
Because you're not allowed to go into the stands and attack people.
This isn't the DR, sir.
Yeah, you can't do it. This is, I want to say Atlanta is where he did that. So that's not okay. He... Finally, though, league president Charles Feeney said the incident, quote, has more than one facet, and also added that, quote, mitigating circumstances and a letter of apology from Cesar have softened what would otherwise have been a more severe penalty. They said that he was subjected to severe verbal and personal abuse.
Okay.
Because you killed a girl.
Right.
You are going to get that.
Yeah.
If you're going to go in front of large groups of people after you were in a hotel room where a woman was shot, then I'm sorry. You're going to get some fucking chance now and then.
I'm sorry. They didn't have Twitter to aim their rage then.
Yes. Now they could chant killer on Twitter and leave you alone in person. But then they couldn't. You needed to do it in person.
You can sign up for Twitter and delete your account from your phone and just leave it up and let people holler at you there.
Call you a killer all day.
Deaf into the void.
Perfect. So that's exactly perfect. So they said, quote, Feeney said, even with such verbal provocation, it's totally unacceptable for a baseball player to enter the stands in a threatening manner toward a patron.
Yes.
Well, no shit. Therefore, for entering the stands in Atlanta, that was right, Atlanta, in the game of Tuesday, September 8th, Cesar Cedeno was fined a sum of $5,000, but his suspension is canceled.
Okay.
He said it's canceled.
Coming on back.
Yep, he said he analyzed two facets of the incident.
Yeah.
He said, quote, people who attend baseball games have the right and in part the enjoyment of the game to root vociferously for their favorites or, on the other hand, vent in an unsportsmanlike fashion feelings toward players that are negative, as players expect this is part of their profession. That's why there's a stadium. Yet in this case, the evidence is compelling that the remarks made by the fans went beyond the realm of decency. I think they're just pointing out factual things.
Why do they get to decide what's decent?
Yeah, he killed the chick. Is that decent? Or involuntarily manslaughtered a
why
chick?
Are we
Is that
throwing
decent
lines down?
Yeah, let's not bring decency into this. A sleazy motel room shooting is not decent.
With a girl when you're married, like there's a lot of shit happening here.
The type of spectator behavior is not only unfair to the players, but it's unacceptable to the vast majority of fans who go to the game for entertainment and enjoyment rather than to express such antisocial behavior.
Okay.
It is the policy of this office that extreme actions by spectators that infringe upon the rights of the players and other fans be responded to by proper security measures, including ejection and, in cases where thrown objects are involved, legal prosecution. Without these mitigating circumstances and a letter of apology, the penalties would have been much more. Mm-hmm. So, fans a scumbag, he deserved it, is what he said.
Yep.
That's exactly what he said. So, and if someone calls you something bad enough, hop on in and beat the shit out of them, even though you're a professional athlete. So, wow. December 18th, 1981. I think the Astros have had enough between this and the killing. And you know what? They go, we're going to send him on down the line.
Let's move him around.
They trade him to the Cincinnati Reds.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, for Ray Knight. Remember Ray Knight?
No.
He was on the 86 Mets team. I don't know.
No good?
No, he's all right. I don't know. He always looked like somebody's like science teacher or something. I was like, why are you playing baseball? I don't know.
So they send him from Cincy down to Texas.
All right. So now he's in Cincy. 1982 season, Cesar's in Cincy. Cincy. They go 61 and 101.
Oh,
which is god awful.
Wow.
God awful. Their managers are John McNamara and Russ Nixon, who I assume is Otis's father.
Yeah.
No, Otis was a junior, so
right.
definitely not.
So this is 83?
This is 82.
Okay.
Yeah, the Reds, the big red machine is long dead by now.
Yeah.
Instead of Johnny Bench, they still have Johnny Bench, but he's playing third base now.
But they're about to turn it around in like 12 years.
Yeah, 90.
90, yeah.
90,
8 years,
but then it was
Sabo.
like for a year.
Yeah.
This is Alex Trevino, Dan Dreisen, Ron Oyster, Dave Concepcion, Eddie Milner, Paul Householder.
Oh, boy.
That's who's on this team. Starting right fielder, Paul Householder.
Oh, no.
So this is not a great squad here, obviously. Jesus Christ. Tom Seaver's on the team. Okay. Charlie Lee Brandt. A couple of good players here. But this is a dark time for the Reds. He plays in 138 games, which is pretty good in 82. And he hits 289. Not too shabby. 8 homers, 57 RBI. So he's just lost his power. His power's gone.
It's over.
He hits under 10 home runs now. And only 16 stolen bases. So what happened? Yeah, it's going bad. May of 1983, he's suspended by the team for an incident on a plane.
Uh-oh.
Not what you think it would be. When we say an incident on a plane, you think wrestlers and you think they were fighting or like trying to sexually assault stewardesses or something.
Yeah.
No.
Somebody getting their tongue through the, what is it? The okra patch.
Oh, jeez, yeah. The okra patch and all that.
Right.
This is different. Instead, he got mad that he didn't get the plane ticket he wanted.
Okay.
On the team plane. So they said, well, we'll talk about it here. Apparently, he gets suspended for a few games, which will cost him about $13,000. Apparently, it was the direct result of being assigned a coach seat instead of a first class one on the Reds' flight from Cincinnati to Chicago. Okay. Mind you, that is an hour-long flight.
Yeah, it's not.
You could strap me to the fucking wing for that flight. I don't care.
It's not as if you're
up,
on
you're down.
You're not on an American flight or Southwest. You're on the team fucking plane.
You're on the team. Well,
Who
it might
gives
be a charter flight or whatever.
Either way,
but that
it's
was
only players.
And it doesn't matter. You're going a fucking hour. It's an hour. It's right there. Who cares?
You don't have a shower ring salesman sitting next to you.
That's what I mean. You're not crammed into coach. When they do coach, there's no one in the middle seat. So you're fine. It's fine. Right. That's how they used to do it back then.
First class.
It's fine. Yeah. And you still get booze and everything like that. But apparently he was super, super, super fucking pissed off about this. He's accustomed to flying first class with the club because he's an elder statesman. he took the boarding pass and ripped it up in the fucking everybody's face there, and threw the boarding pass everywhere, and walked off the plane and got his own flight and flew home away from the team.
Really?
Yeah. So this is not good behavior for one of your stars. Apparently he was having problems with the manager, Russ Nixon, the last 3 weeks. He was in a little bit of a slump, and then he got benched. So he was all pissed off, and they think that might have made it a little, made him a little, exacerbated.
Yeah, sure.
A little bit here. He was suspended for misconduct. The suspension was announced.
We are so cute. That was amazing. God, we're adorable. Exacerbate at the same time? I used that word like 4 times in my life. That was amazing.
It was a very appropriate use of it. You nailed it. You fucking nailed it.
Sorry.
That's hilarious. So he said he's had his problems and we've had our problems. He didn't excuse, though, what he did. This is the manager. Quote, I don't look at it lightly or we wouldn't have imposed the suspension. I don't feel it was correct in the things that I don't feel he was correct in the things that have happened. I've never had a cross word with Cedeno. He's always been thoughtful. I read somewhere that we were sorry we had made the trade for him, but that's not true. I told him last night I had no regrets over the trade and I felt he could help our ball club. He has helped us again, or he has helped us and I believe will again. So he felt that the manager was the one sticking him in coach.
Okay, got it.
Like, you're not playing well, so I'm sticking you in coach. Right. And he's like, I'm still a fucking, whatever. So he was having a whole lot of problems there. He said this is, he said, quote, I think he made the statement, Russ did that personally. That's what the manager says. He thought that they did it personally to him. Russ didn't. He wasn't even aware of it. Steve Cobb, our traveling secretary, was in charge of the plane tickets, and he wasn't to blame either. He was simply following our regular policy of rotating the fellows in first class and coach seats.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. He said, besides, he's new on the job, so he didn't even know what he was doing. Right. He was just... They said, try to rotate him. He was like, all right.
That's smart.
He didn't know, don't put that guy in coach. He'll lose his fucking mind. That's, seems nice.
He's used to something specific.
Yeah, and he'll, have you heard about the hotel room?
Right. He's a smidge reckless with weapons.
He's definitely packing heat. So he's also said, this is the Wagner guy, quote, Cesar is a very emotional fellow. On Sunday's flight from Chicago, we had 9 first-class seats. The other 3 first-class seats were held by non-baseball people. They were on a regular flight.
Yeah.
So the rest of our players had to sit in the coach section. I guess when Cesar got that coach ticket with all his other problems, it hit him wrong. To him, maybe it was the last straw that broke the camel's back. So, yeah, he said, sometimes I think the fans expect too much. It's hard for them to understand what happens to a player, and it's hard for the people in the front office to understand, but players don't stay in the game, players don't stay the game.
Huh?
Oh, players don't stay the same. Sorry, it's an old newspaper. Mm-hmm. It's hard to read. And you know how the game is. It's frustrating. He said, it reminds me of when I was in the Navy. The old Navy guys would sit around and tell you, and you'd hear them say how the last ship they were on was the worst ever.
Yeah.
This one was only a little bit better, and the next one was going to be the best. They'd never change their stories, and you hear the same thing in baseball all the time.
Sure.
That makes sense. So 1984 season here, we'll talk about quickly. 84 season, he hit 276. Who cares? 10 home runs.
Yeah.
Who fucking matters? Okay, let's talk about his fuck-ups. Let's do this. January 23rd, 1985, Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
2:25 a.m.
Oh, boy.
Bad sign.
Yeah.
He is detained here because he and a woman he was with, who knows who, were driving his Mercedes pretty fast while he was intoxicated and went off the road and plowed into a tree.
Oh, no.
Hit a tree with the Mercedes. Neither were injured in the car.
That's great.
It's good. Yeah, nice. Cushy, I guess.
Good car.
Good car. Express, well built, I assume. They ended up later on, the cops said, quote, they had to take him out and handcuff him and tie his feet together. Do you know why he did that?
He was running?
Well, no. They arrested him because he was drunk as shit and sitting in a car that was attached to a tree,
Yeah.
which is a problem. So they arrested him, put him in the back of the car. So, quote, he attempted to kick the back windows out of the police car.
They had to hog tie.
They had to hog tie him because he was trying to kick the fucking windows out like a psychopath meth addict on live PD.
Right.
That they have to put a spit hood on.
He's the reason they put bars on the windows of a cop car.
This moron.
Wow.
Kicking the fucking windows. You're the idiot who ran into a tree, stupid.
Right.
It's not like they came to your house and pulled you out of bed.
Right.
You ran into a tree.
Yeah.
Did you expect no one to notice that?
You may as well have driven into jail.
Literally plowed right up the front steps of the police station. You're wrapped around a tree.
Put me in, coach.
You're going to jail, man. Jesus fucking Christ. It's crazy. The Reds president, Bob Hausman, said in a statement here, he said, quote, we just this morning heard the information, and it's just a matter of waiting to see what the situation is. In other words, I'm not saying shit about shit. Hair is silver.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. He said in an interview here, Pete Rose, who at the time was the manager of the Reds and a player.
Really?
He was a player manager there at the end.
Okay.
When he was going for his record-breaking hit this year.
This guy played with Pete Rose.
Oh, yeah. He played with Pete Rose. He played with a lot of guys.
Unbelievable.
Crazy. So Pete Rose, I guess, he said that he was impressed with Cesar's play. He said, Cedeno played so well for me last year. He was one of the top players in the league in the last 3 weeks. If the season were to start tomorrow, he'd be in left field. He's earned that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, regardless. Now, this is dumb, though. You obviously shouldn't drive drunk and plowing and things. So you would assume the team would look down on this, right?
Sure, take it serious.
Yeah, not quite. They said, Jesus Christ, they had to take him out and handcuff him and tie his feet together. That's amazing to me. So Chuck Barry of Reich, Landman and Barry, the Pittsburgh law firm which represents Cedeno, said, quote, I don't think this is that big of a deal. He ran his Mercedes into a tree right off the road. Okay, where's the part where that's his full statement? I don't think it's a big deal. He ran his Mercedes off the road.
Yeah, but it could have been a kid.
And why did he run a Mercedes off the road? What could it have been instead of a tree?
It's not like the car got a flat tire and he lost control.
That's what I mean. That would be whether he was sober or not.
Right.
Who knows? Nope. He ran into a fucking tree because he was drunk. The Cincinnati Reds president said he indicated there's no immediate disciplinary action planned against Cedeno. Not only that here, but he then said that it was an accident and it, quote, could have happened to anybody.
Oh, boy.
Literally said drunk driving accident could happen to anybody. That is the statement given by the fucking...
Welcome to 1984.
Could have happened to any. Boys will be boys.
Yeah.
Wow. Asked if the club would take any disciplinary action. He said, we're waiting to see what the situation is. I think a person should have all the facts before he makes any comment at all. And then Pete Rose said that it didn't alter his Cedeno status with the club. He said, quote, you can't crucify a guy for something like this. It's something that could happen to anybody. It couldn't happen to me because I don't drink, but it could happen to anybody else. This Pete Rose has another vice, obviously, that we didn't know about at the time, but we certainly do now. He says, Cesar is a baseball player and a good one. Something happened to him that happens to a lot of Americans.
What?
Wow.
He drank?
He ran his
and
fucking...
hit a tree.
Yeah. Wow. They said he's scheduled for a hearing. He refused to take a breathalyzer test. And, so his license is automatically revoked for 90 days. So, pretty stupid there. Not too smart. He spent... he spent 7 weeks in a stress management program at the California Institute for Behavioral Medicine the year before, by the way.
Stress management.
In Beverly Hills. He had a little bit of a breakdown, apparently.
Okay. Calling it rehab.
Yeah. His counselor at the Institute said, quote, as far as drug or alcohol dependence goes, that has never been a problem for him. That's not to say that CC doesn't drink, but when he came to us, he was given a series of tests to detect a drug or alcohol dependence. It was never an issue with him, except for when someone got shot and when a car got run off the fucking road in a goddamn tree. Never an issue. I've seen 2 issues so far with it. Both of them had death and potential death.
Yeah.
Probably an issue at that point.
Him and the other person at this point.
It's honestly, that could happen to anybody. You can't crucify. That's kind of shocking, is it not?
All right.
It's like, I mean, it's
Today,
shocking.
this is a punchline.
Oh, this is ridiculous. Hey, boys will be. He literally almost said, "Hey, boys will be boys." What are you going to do? It's shocking, I got to say, but not as shocking as the sales, Jimmy. The sales. So if you happen to be in Marion, Ohio, where this newspaper is from, in 1985, in January of 1985, if you find yourself back there, we have for you these sales at the Cervix Superstores. Cervix, they name their place.
No.
Wow. No.
Was the fallopian store? Fallopian center was taken?
There's an ovarian ovarian food court is outside of this place, though.
Good Christ. Was the labius minor, was that taken?
I think it was, yeah. You can get videotapes, VHS tapes, 120-minute Scotch VHS tapes, $4.99.
All right.
That's all for one tape, for a blank tape. $249 for a VCR.
Good God.
Here's a VCR with like a remote, and it's a 4-head. It's nice. $399 for that shit.
It's like they knew that technology was going to be gone, and we've got to capitalize now.
Every cent. I found a 12-inch black and white TV.
Good God.
They had a 12-inch for $59.88.
What a fucking ripoff.
And that's a ripoff. 13-inch color TV, $229.
Wow.
A little more for that bad boy. I found a turntable. A nice turntable here for $79.88.
That has gone up zero. It's the same price.
It's the same price. Weird, right? Even more expensive now.
Maybe.
Good turntables
Maybe
are expensive now. They are. I found a radar detector here. Fox radar detector for $79.
Like that goes in your car?
Yeah, like a radar detector.
In the 80s.
Yeah, get your... beep, 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 beep. It would beep constantly.
Yeah.
Also, let's say you're hungry after all that. You need to go down, head on down to the Isali shop and join us for this special Friday feature. Polish sausage dinner, only $3.79.
Seems like a deal.
Yeah, not bad. Chicken Parmesan spaghetti night on Friday, $4.10.
Okay.
Let's see. Broccoli and cheese omelet on Sunday. Oh boy. Tuna and noodles casserole on Monday. January 28th.
What? Why would you even tell anybody you have that?
You don't sell that.
No.
That's something that you make when that's all that's in the house.
That's like,
You put
that's
those
like mashing
together.
that shit together.
I mean,
this is all we've got.
It'll fill you up. Protein and the pasta's a lot of carbs. It'll fill you up. You don't sell that in a restaurant.
It'll stop your stomach from hurting. It's also going to cause a pain. But it might be welcome.
That's later. You'll be fine. Stuffed cabbage rolls.
Oh my!
$3.39.
They've run out of good ideas. Stop.
Yeah. And then all you can eat fish dinner is on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
So we'll take that. I like fish, but
depends on what it is.
Well, yeah, you can do that. Also, when you're done there, maybe you want to go down to what is this? The Ponderosa.
Yeah.
Remember those?
Is it a bar?
Buffet.
Oh, okay.
The world's biggest best salad buffet proudly presents the Hot Spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ponderosa now gives you a choice of tasty hot items that leaves all other salad bars behind.
Oh.
So it wasn't just salad anymore.
Yeah.
You could get chopped steak value meals, 2 for $6.99. That's the coupon here. Chopped
tuna noodle casserole.
Ribeye steak value meals, 2 for $7.99.
Don't say steak and value
Don't
meal.
say ribeye and value. It's not those.
There's no value.
I don't want 2 ribeyes for $8. Right. I just don't want that.
I know that's all ribbon.
That's fucking. Oh, you're gonna be hacking that. Yeah. Just chewing it like crazy.
It's all chunks of fat.
Oh man! I also found here you've eaten. Now you're step 2 of the date.
Yeah.
You got to take them out to a movie.
Oh, boy.
I got movies for you. Go out and see Dune because it starts Friday.
Brand new.
Protocol with Goldie Hawn.
Oh.
She was in the military, I think in that
one.
Or no, she was like a government, she worked for a government agency and somebody died. I don't know what the hell it was, some shit. She was like an international, some shit. Night Patrol. I've
seen that.
Final Night. It says they're making America safe. Barely.
Oh,
it's probably a comedy.
I was
never heard of it.
It's not. I was thinking Armed and Dangerous. It's not that.
No. Breaking 2.
What?
Electric fucking Boogaloo.
In the theater?
Yeah, in the theater.
I want that experience.
You can see that. It says they're back for everyone who believes in the beat.
Yeah. I believe in it.
Me and Jimmie right here.
Certainly
Believe in it. Beverly Hills Cop was playing.
That's another experience.
7,000 times.
I've never seen that shit in theaters.
I
want that experience.
No, I was too young. And then also Nightmare on Elm Street is playing. So there's a lot of classics playing right there.
At the drive-in.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why I had fucking nightmares forever.
And then I didn't sleep for 3 weeks.
Because that shit happened outside.
And then I also found a Marlboro ad that is amazing. It is for Marlboro 25s.
Post what we know about it now.
Remember 25s?
No.
25s were 25 cigarettes in a pack rather than 20.
So they were like the size of a Camel Wides pack.
Exactly. Yeah. There's 25, and it says, for smokers who prefer the convenience of 5 more cigarettes per pack. For smokers who a pack a day isn't enough for them. Right. This will get them over the edge.
Do you need to lie to yourself? Are you smoking more than a pack and
It's like I smoke like just not quite 2 packs. I don't want to get into a set, but I just want a couple extra smokes. I'm done with my pack. 3-4 smokes. You know what I mean? Maybe 5. I want to have a backup, just in case.
I run through a carton a week, and that's 7 days, 3 extra packs, so it's not quite 2.
I feel like I got to even this out a little bit. You know what I mean?
25s.
25s. Fucking ridiculous.
Just for those that are lying to themselves.
Yeah. For those who are lying to yourselves. Marlboro 25s. Marlboro 58s. For those of you who don't think that 2 packs of cigarettes in a day is quite enough, but now you don't want to smoke a whole 3. Marlboro 58s. 58 cigarettes in a pack. It's a pack. Okay, you can make the pack any size. Yeah. Goddamn pack. So the sales. That's the sales.
Unreal.
So Cesar denies the police account of what happened. Mm-hmm. He says bullshit, which is hilarious. He says, quote, this entire thing has pretty much been blown out of proportion. His English has improved dramatically.
He knows proportion.
And then he said, chicken, motherfucker. He said, I swear to you, I don't misbehave. I wasn't drunk. I wasn't intoxicated. I did refuse a breathalyzer test, but there was no scuffle. Took him, I guess it was hard to get him cuffed as well. He wasn't taking to that kindly either. He said the accident occurred after he and a woman friend had dinner, went dancing, and were on their way to meet another friend, which I'm sure he didn't drink dinner or dancing. Never.
How do you eat and then dance and you do that shit sober?
Sober.
All of that?
No one dances sober.
Never.
Come on. He said that that's what happened. He refused no scuffle, meeting on their way to meet another friend. Quote, I was driving 50 or 60 miles an hour and we were arguing. Anytime you'll hear a report of him in the same domicile as a woman, whether it be a car or a house or something, they're arguing.
Yeah.
Something bad is happening. It was an open street, but I guess I was going too fast. I took a hard right turn and lost control of the car. We smashed into a tree. He said the first thing the police say to me was stand on one leg and count to 25. I made it to 8, but I had been knocked out and I was pretty shaken up. At that point, they handcuffed me. He says he didn't try to kick the window out in the police cruiser. He said, quote, I was concerned about my friend. She was in the ambulance and they wouldn't let me talk to her. I just wanted to find out if she was okay. Mm-hmm. I was handcuffed, so I kicked on the window to try to get the officer's attention. Yeah, motherfucker, that's what you're doing. Right. That's what every crackhead's doing. They're trying to get their attention.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to be in the back of the goddamn car for whatever reason.
Excuse me, officer.
Come on, man.
We gotta talk.
Come on, man.
I can fix all of this.
I could just let me kick this window out.
He wants to talk to her so that he makes sure that she knows to tell the cops, no, he wasn't drinking.
Didn't see him with anything.
He's doing.
He says, I was handcuffed, so I kicked the window to try to get their attention. I wasn't trying to break the window. They dragged me out of the car and then tied my feet. They threw me back in the car face down. He says that he can prove he wasn't drunk. I don't know how you do that well after the fact.
Right.
He said, quote, I'm sure the Houston police will have to apologize to me when this is all over.
Yeah.
They're going to have to apologize to him, goddammit. So in court, funny, the police don't apologize at all for this. No apologies.
None given?
Weird, right? Especially when he pleads no contest to a charge of drunken driving. There's not really an apology issued for that.
Yeah.
He's fined $400 and ordered to pay residents of the house of the tree that he hit $7,000 for damage created when he wrecked his car.
That's an expensive tree.
I guess he took out some other shit. Yeah, who knows what he took out. The judge also sentenced him to, you, sir, may fuck off, 120 days in jail, but suspended the sentence for 2 years if he doesn't get
right. Pending good behavior.
Pending good behavior. His communication with a probation officer will be done by mail. By the way, it's to mail his probation officer shit. That's hilarious. He said that he was innocent, obviously, and his representation and legal counsel said, quote, "We discussed the case at length. I felt, and I still feel, if we had gone to trial, Cesar would have been exonerated, but I was one of the participants in urging Cesar to plead no contest. This decision was made because we felt, and we told Cesar this, that this is a trial that would be excruciating. Even if he had won, we would obviously, and we obviously think we would have, he would have lost. He would have been faced with a lot of publicity and the rehash of things that will haunt Cesar throughout his career."
Sure.
I would say, yeah. He said he said it was stepped up so Cesar could put this behind him and get on with the season. Yes, he said, "I have talked to Cesar about this incident since it occurred. He spent some time with me out here in Los Angeles. His state of mind is good and he's in great shape. He's seriously ready for the season, and I can assure you that Cesar has in no way a chemical dependency problem. We just wanted to put this behind him. That's the reason for the no contest."
Okay.
Just to put it behind him. Yeah. Say it 5 more times. August 29th, 1985, the Reds put it behind them, and they trade him to the Cardinals for Mark Jackson, who's a minor leaguer, not the point guard for the Knicks. So 1985, he ends up playing for the Cardinals. This is mid-season they trade him, August 29th. So they got him for the pennant run. Cardinals won the World Series that year.
What?
They beat the Royals in seven games that year in the World Series. Very exciting World Series.
A man that was in the room with a dead body has a ring.
He goes here. Yep, he goes here. Hits the shit out of the ball, by the way.
Really?
This team is the Jack Clark, Tommy Herr, Ozzie Smith, the RBI baseball. If you played RBI baseball on regular Nintendo when you were a child, this is the Cardinal lineup that's on there, basically. Willie McGee, Vince Coleman, Andy Van Slyke, Terry Pendleton.
Yeah.
Everybody you've heard of if you were from that era. Joaquin Andahar, one of the pitchers.
Terry Pendleton played for the fucking Cardinals?
He started there.
Wow.
Absolutely. Yeah, he was... Later on, when he was on the Braves and all that, he
was so good.
Yeah, he was really. I love Terry Pendleton.
Yeah.
He was fucking awesome.
So good.
So good. He had the Kirby Puckett body.
Mm-hmm. Sure in the fuck did.
Damn, could he run and hit in fucking field. He was nasty. So, yeah, they end up going, and it's him, too. He is one of the main catalysts here. He plays in 28 games for them, has 76 at-bats, hits .434.
Wow.
So, I mean, he was exactly what they needed. They just injected this energy into the lineup of hitting .434.
A murderer, James. Just murdering
Just killing it. He's killing it, Jimmy. He's shooting it right out of the park. Shooting it right in the temple. He has 6 home runs in 28 games even. He's crushing it.
His bat's like just got a .38 caliber pop.
That's what it is. He's got the pop of a Smith & Wesson. They call it, when he hits the ball, they're like, it's a snub nose, they call it.
It's a real moonshot.
It's a real moonshot. Every time. Jesus Christ, that's awesome.
The fucking gun puns are plentiful.
They're everywhere. They're gonna keep coming too. So this series, he didn't do well in the playoffs though. He hit .434 toward the end. Then he hit .167 in the NLDS.
Oh no!
And hit .133 in the World Series.
It's a lot of blanks.
It's a lot of blanks. It's not good. But he's shooting blanks over here. So that's that anyway. He made $562,500 that year.
Yeah.
Not bad for 85. Pretty goddamn good. November 12th, 85, he becomes a free agent. Contract is up. March of 86, this is when he starts a little tour. March 14th, he signs with the Blue Jays.
Mm-hmm.
Goes to spring training with them a little bit, but then he's released on April 3rd, right? Like final cuts, basically. So April 10th, he signed as a free agent with the Dodgers.
Okay.
So the Dodgers this year, they were 73 and 89 this year. Mike Scioscia, Steve Sachs, that team.
Yeah.
You know, the team that won 2 years from then won the World Series. It's kind of the same team now. Yeah, a lot of good players. Fernando Valenzuela, Bob Welsh, Earl Hershiser. June 5th, 1986, he's released by the Dodgers.
Okay.
So it doesn't last too long there. Then July 19th, 86, he's signed by the Cardinals again.
Okay.
So very strange. With the Dodgers, he played in 37 games. He hit .231. So not wonderful, and that's why they released him. Not quite the energetic injection they were looking for. He is signed with St. Louis, and he makes $200,000 for this year. And he plays at Louisville. They put him in the minors, and he hits like under 200 in Louisville.
Oh no!
So then he's just done after that. November of 1986. He's not done with everything though. Baseball might be on the back burner, but driving while intoxicated, boy, that's on the front burner.
Steps it up.
Yeah.
Going pro.
November 18th, 1986, he is busted for another DUI. This one didn't make the papers at all.
No?
Could not find a press account of it. This is on his
when you bat under
record.
200 in the minors.
Yeah, either that or they figured out a way to...
Yeah.
They knew the guy to talk to not get that happen, not let that happen. July 1st, 1987, he is arrested here. He's out at a bar, and he is arrested for misdemeanor assault at a nightclub in a Houston suburb, which, when we tell you what happened, this guy's lucky that there was no guns involved. So he's in the Houston suburb here, and he's accused of smashing a glass into a man's face.
Oh.
Which, will bring some wounds here.
Yeah.
Apparently, the man bumped into Cedeno in Jay Larkin's Club Cafe, and from that, Cedeno smashed a glass into his face for bumping into him. Seems excessive.
Yeah.
Then a fight broke out, a huge melee, and then other people ended up breaking it up, and that's what happened. They took the man to the hospital for facial cuts.
Sure.
And he's charged with assault. So that seems right
Yeah.
for that. Now, May 27th, 1988, he's got a little bit of a problem. He's arrested again by Webster police on charges of assault and resisting arrest after an attack on a woman who is his girlfriend and the mother of his child. He is intoxicated. Doesn't have a dependency problem. Remember that?
Yeah.
2 DUIs, shot a girl who was, girl got shot while he was drunk.
Yeah.
But smashes a glass in a guy's face. No problem.
He may not have a problem, but alcohol's got a problem with him.
That's what I'm saying. I don't care if you drink once a year. If every time it happens, you end up in jail afterwards, you got an alcohol problem. It doesn't matter how often. It's the results that are the problem. That's how they judge whether you're an alcoholic. Are you fucking up your life?
Yeah.
Are you working every day? Are you doing things?
I drink a lot,
and
I never have police interaction while doing it.
There you go. Then you don't have an alcohol problem.
All right.
Probably. You're probably, or less of one than he does.
Right.
Anyway, we'll put it that way.
It's probably hindering me in other ways.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure, physically especially. Yeah. So apparently he was intoxicated and angry over custody of his 4-month-old daughter, which he's married, by the way, and this is his girlfriend he's got a daughter with who's 4 months old. And so he went over to the house and apparently beat the shit out of this woman. Here, Jesus Christ, Pam Lamont is her name, 32 years old. She called police to her apartment at 4:30 a.m.
Yep.
And told police that he had beaten her and taken the baby.
That's kidnapping.
You can't beat a woman and steal it. What are you thinking?
Oh,
what are you
my
thinking?
God. You can't hit a woman and take her kid.
Everything he does, you go, why would you think to do that? Why would you ever think that was okay?
Right.
You can't beat a woman and take her kid.
Never.
This is fucking nuts. Webster police officer said, quote, he went over there this morning drunk and started slapping her around. He then snatched the baby from her and drove away.
Out of her
drunk.
arms. Oh, my God.
Beats her up.
Jesus.
4:00 in the morning, he busts in drunk, beats her up, takes the baby, then drives away with the baby while she's drunk. How scared her, this is insane. So before police arrived, Cedeno had returned and assaulted her again. So 2 assaults. She called the cops, and before they got there, he got back and beat her up again.
And then left.
Beat her up again, beating her head against a wall. This isn't I know I'm not going to say a slap is, but this is more than a slap.
Yeah.
A slap is a slap. It's horrible. Domestic violence is terrible, obviously, but this is, I'm going to injure your head hard into a fucking wall. This is like I'm meaning to cause damage.
I'm
a controlling maniac.
Right.
This is
a smushy thing. That thing's hard.
Exactly.
It's a difference.
It's fucking ridiculous. So he apparently beat her head against the wall. She's treated for bruises by an ambulance, and she wouldn't go to the hospital, though. They treated her on the site because she said no one was there to watch the baby, and she wasn't giving it to old dickhead over here. Why? Because he's going to jail. He's released on $2,000 bail. The Harris County Children's Protective Services had warned Webster police that Cedeno had threatened the woman at the hospital when she gave birth. So it's on record that she'd been threatening him. CPS spokesman,
threatening her.
or he's been threatening her. Thank you. CPS spokesman Judy Hay said that the woman has custody of the child, and Cedeno is the legal father, but she didn't know if he was seeking legal custody. He just wanted to go up and beat her and steal the person there, the baby. So he's married and has no children with his wife, but he's got kids on the outside.
Jesus.
Wow.
What a life.
While he's being booked, the booking person said, quote, when he was being booked, he kept saying that he was going to get that baby away from her. My God, you are being arrested for that very act, sir. Right. So he's released from jail after posting a $2,000 bond. And, he's released from jail. He's very angry. Obviously, he seems like an angry guy.
He's got some super issues, man.
Yeah, he goes out and he's angry, and he finally, no one's on his side. No. That's the problem. Yeah. No one's on his side in his mind. He's like, no one's on my side. Everybody's against me.
Me against the world.
Yeah, I don't even have silver-haired middle-aged white men anymore. Right. I'm done playing baseball. What am I going to do with my life? I don't know what to do. No one's on my side. And then he runs into someone who's on his side. Yeah. It's Adam Pac-Man Arugula Connoisseur Jones. And he says, there's no music, so he just says, how is it you've come to arrive here? This is ridiculous. Yes, you're here because people are whiny. That's what it is. I mean, honestly, you care. You care about this young child, correct? Right. It's your child, obviously. You're a caring father. And you went over there. And first of all, sometimes, you ever seen on walls, sometimes there's cracks in the drywall. You go, what's that there? Someone can't see. You got to say, look a little closer. Look a little closer, pal. And I feel like, obviously, that's what was happening. And then you were like, let me give you a break because you've been watching this child. And you said,
bump on your head.
Know what? I'll take him off your hands for a little while.
Fit to watch this child.
And obviously, if someone thinks your gun is nice, it's only polite. To try to pull it away, and sometimes it happens, but
she was probably going to steal it.
I think it's okay. I think it's going to be all right. I think you've done a splendid job. Honestly, I think it's fine. And can I offer you some arugula? And poof, he's gone. And a shitload of leaves and arrest warrants. There he goes. So, he's wow. 1989, he's trying to make a comeback.
Oh boy,
he plays winter ball in Mexico. And then he tries out with both the Houston Astros and the Texas Rangers.
Really?
And both of them say no thank you. He does play in the Senior Professional Baseball Association that year.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, this was some sad shit. And we've talked about it before because Ron LaFleur was playing this year and everything else. This is the inaugural season of it.
You can't play senior ball.
No. That's
embarrassing.
It's bad.
Yeah.
You don't want to see that. Manager Earl Weaver, that we've talked about a lot, which is hilarious.
Man on earth.
Angriest man ever. On this team, they had Cesar, they had Joaquin Andujar, and Bert Campaneris on the team as well. And Campaneris was 47 years old and stole 16 bases to lead the team.
Wow.
Jesus Christ. Cedeno hit 331 to share the team. He should. He's playing against older people here.
16 bases stolen.
That's amazing.
By an old-ass man.
That's only because the shortstop couldn't get there to cover in time.
Because he tripped.
Ball just sailed into center field. Oh, shit. Damn it. I'm not as quick off of that anymore.
They had to send a stretcher in for the shortstop who just broke his hip.
Oh, shit. It's a hip again. It's a hip. Bring the kit. So he gives up after 1 year. That league only lasts like 2 years. It was an embarrassment.
Sure.
1990, he becomes a coach with the minor league Kissimmee Coast Astros.
Oh, boy.
So he's a coach down there. So, yeah, he's kind of kicking around the minors as a coach for a couple years. September 29th, 1992, it's 5:30 p.m. He's at home with his pregnant girlfriend.
Yeah.
What could go wrong? It's not the middle of the night.
Right.
He's not at a bar. He's not with a strange woman. Pregnant girlfriend at home, 5:30 p.m. So what could go wrong? He'll obviously be arrested. Now, here's how it goes. Police at 5:30 went to the Polo South Apartments off North Dyer Boulevard to find out why a woman's 911 call had been disconnected.
Yeah.
Let's just hope that it was an accident. Let's hope that. Cesar, when police arrived, struggled with several officers. That's not all he did. He struggled with that after his girlfriend, Pam, same girl from 1988, by the way,
what are you doing, Pam?
Who's now pregnant with another child of his. Pam said he beat her for not cleaning their apartment.
Their apartment.
He lives with her.
In an apartment.
He's divorced.
Right.
In an apartment that he beat her because
it was dirty.
She didn't clean. She is pregnant.
Right.
He beat a pregnant woman for not cleaning well enough.
He's a retired baseball player, able-bodied enough to play baseball still. Clean your own fucking place, man.
Or, I don't know, if you're more successful, you could hire someone to come clean your shit. You want to beat the fuck out of your pregnant girlfriend, you asshole. Don't beat up pregnant women. The fuck is wrong with you?
Had you not accidentally shot a woman, maybe it'd still be on trajectory of Hall of Fame worthy shit.
You'd be making a lot of money. You'd be going to making appearances for money because you'd be a fucking Hall of Famer, you asshole.
Wow.
So, wow, she said he beat her for not cleaning the apartment. That's amazing. Then he locked her out of the apartment.
Yeah.
He said it's dirty, beat her up, and then pushed his pregnant girlfriend out of the apartment and locked her outside after he beat up a pregnant woman. I'm going to keep repeating beat up a pregnant woman because of how ridiculous that is, how asinine that is.
I wish I'd have thought to lock my ex-wife just out of the house.
That's a great idea.
Shit.
I don't know.
Out.
Just ignore the doorbell. I don't know. What?
Just put my Bluetooth
Turn the TV up. I don't hear it. Who's at the door, Dad? I don't hear it.
I don't know what you're talking about, kids.
I don't hear shit. Broncos are on.
Back in your room, play your video games.
That's it. Put your headset back on. So he's charged with aggravated assault. She is 5'3" as well. This is a little tiny pregnant woman. He's 6'2".
She serves no any sort of threat to him at all.
Oh, no physical, especially pregnant.
Right.
He hit her and threw her against the wall as well. Pregnant. Told police she has one child and is 4 months pregnant. That's still in the precarious stages of pregnancy where you shouldn't be throwing people into fucking walls.
You can lose that real easy.
Yeah. She says, quote, Cesar has a serious drinking problem and only becomes abusive when he drinks. I have begged him to get help, but he won't. Finally, somebody fucking admits it.
Right.
When people can make money off of him, nobody will admit it. Just hair turns silver and they all go, I don't know, it doesn't have an alcohol dependency problem to me.
Swing the bat.
Just a fun guy. I don't know, it could happen to anybody. Finally, when a woman's pregnant and beaten and thrown against a wall, she goes, hey, maybe this asshole with the fucking alcohol. She declined to talk about what happened, but she said it's this isn't a new thing, basically. Yeah. He's arrested. By the way, this is the crazier part. I've told you all the crazy stuff, right?
Yeah.
I haven't told you the crazier part of the arrest.
Oh, boy.
So he's arrested for all that craziness. While they're dragging him outside trying to cuff him, he breaks away and swipes one of the cop's nightsticks.
No.
He pulls a fucking club out of the cop's belt and starts squaring off with the cops with a fucking nightstick in his hand. That's what happened.
Jesus.
They had to have multiple cops wrestle him to the ground with a fucking nightstick in his hand that he swiped from the one cop's belt.
That'll get you shot.
That you are very lucky not to get shot, especially after you just beat up a pregnant woman, because you'd be pissed off at that enough, and then he takes your nightstick. You'd be like, oh, this motherfucker. I mean,
cops already.
I don't want cops to kill anybody, but you can't. When you take a weapon and then come at them with a weapon, you're asking for some kind of trouble at that. I wouldn't do that personally.
When cops are showing up to a domestic violence scene, that's when people are shot most.
What's I mean, especially because it's not like he got pulled over for nothing and they were harassing him. That wasn't the case here.
He wasn't claiming.
He beat up a pregnant woman that called the fucking. You know what I'm?
Yeah.
It's insane. So aggravated battery, resisting arrest with violence, and battery on a law enforcement officer.
Good.
These are all bad charges.
It's very serious.
Very serious. He's released with $2,500 bail. The sergeant said that he didn't know why Cedeno wasn't charged with domestic battery at the time. All these were the charges against the cops.
They were pissed.
So it's very strange. Yeah, they let's worry about he beat up a pregnant woman. Let's talk about that. So they said this is a charge typically filed to make a defendant, to make sure he's not released quickly. You file the domestic violence, so they'll keep him a couple days rather than let him right out, which is what they did. He said, quote, I'm surprised they did that. This is the police guy. After we review the report, we may have to revoke the bond if it's serious enough, which it is. I mean, Jesus Christ. This poor woman, I feel really bad for her. She's gotten twice with this asshole, and what's happened in the 5 years in between, having to live with this nutcase, and now you got two kids with him.
Roped into him for at least 18 years.
I feel bad for her. I really do. I mean, I honestly feel bad for her. I feel bad for a lot of people, Jimmy, but not nearly as bad as I feel for Cesar Cedeno, Economic Development Specialist at the City of Santa Ana in Orange County, California.
Really?
Cesar Cedeno, Healthcare Operations Leader, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Unless you're pregnant, then he'll throw you against a wall, so maybe not go there.
Yeah.
Cesar Cedeno, Bilingual Educator, Greater New York City area. Cesar Cedeno, Certified Surgical Technologist at Kaiser Permanente in Los Angeles.
DR.
Yeah, exactly. In L.A.
Yeah.
Cesar Cedeno Cedeno, architecture and planning professional, greater New York City area.
Yeah.
So that's like almost a Dexter Manley situation. Cesar Cedeno, assistant cook at the Krusty Krab, Washington, D.C. metro area.
Get the fuck out.
That's where I had to put
There's
that.
a place.
Oh, yeah. They made it.
Oh, Jesus.
And finally, Cesar Cedeno, the 0-1 MMA fighter.
Poor bastard.
Who was born in 1996. Maybe Cesar's son, for all I fucking know. I have no idea. But I doubt it because I believe he is Venezuelan. He's Cuban.
Okay.
He's Cuban, so it's not him. Not related to him. There's a lot of Cesar Cedenos, by the way.
Right?
Yeah. Apparently, it's not like specific to any country there. So like
Cedeno could be anything
Spanish-speaking countries, they all have Cesar Cedenos in them. Like it's not specific to anything. So yeah, an 0-1 fighter he was.
Poor bastard.
Retired apparently. Career earnings $0 for that man. He did it on did an open mic night and then never came back.
This ain't from me.
1993, Cesar is I almost said Pedro again. Cesar is a hitting instructor for Single A in Davenport, Iowa.
Yeesh.
So he's got a job anyway. After all these fucking arrests, he's lucky to have one. He also served as coach for the rookie-level Gulf Coast League farm team of the Washington Nationals before they shit-canned him in 2009. After that, he served as the hitting coach for the Greenville Astros of the Appalachian League. Basically kicks around the very low minor leagues being a hitting instructor until they realize he's a drunk and let him go.
Wow.
That's pretty much how it works now. He goes around, hey, it's Cesar Cedeno. You hire him to do Single A. He goes to a small town and 20 extra people buy tickets and they go, it's Cesar Cedeno.
Right.
I remember him.
Remember the Bad News Bears?
Literally, it's it. Remember in League of Their Own, they're like, just go out there and wave your little hat.
Yeah.
That's, I feel like, what it is.
So when do I get paid?
When do I get paid? So 1996.
Kiss my road rosy ass. That's right.
I love that movie. I love that fucking movie.
It's so good. Tom Hanks makes the movie everything.
Great.
He's so good.
He's just hilarious. That's why. He's hilarious and good at drama.
And he's good at drunk.
He's really good at drunk.
Great at being a drunk.
He's a funny drunk. Yes. He always has been a funny drunk. Remember in Splash?
Yeah.
When he's like shit-faced and John Candy's like, you're a lightweight, pal. I didn't realize, like picking him up by the collar, like throwing him around. He's all shit-faced. He's a good drunk. He has that look like, huh?
Yeah.
His eyes get real weird.
It makes you wonder, is that something he does a lot?
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Could be just good at it, or he's a drunk.
Yeah.
So 1996, January 16th, 1996. This is in Florida. Oh, how do you say Osceola? Is that how you say it? Or Osceola?
Oh, I don't even.
I don't know how you
Osceola?
Yeah, Osceola.
It's probably Osceola. Right?
That's what I thought it was. Yeah. Osceola County, Florida. He is arrested for possession of drug paraphernalia on that day in 1996.
What's he doing now?
I can't find records. All I found is the arrest record, so I don't know what kind of drug paraphernalia he's got.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big range.
Could be a weed pipe.
Could be a weed
anything,
pipe. He could have a crack pipe. Those are very different pipes.
Right.
They're super different.
Yeah.
That's like water going in, shit going out. Very different pipes.
It's not necessarily different pipes. It's a different person that has those.
Oh, very different person.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, very much different person. You can judge them differently.
Yes.
July of 1997, he is busted for the high speeding here. Why is he in the car? That's July 3rd. He's celebrating early.
Yeah.
September 3rd, 1997, he's busted for speeding again.
Okay.
So he does that again. August 2010, he's ticketed for backing up improperly into a roadway or some shit.
Okay.
I don't know if he got in an accident because he was backing up into a road or something, but...
Right.
That's August of 2010. October 2012, he's arrested for careless driving.
He is so bad behind the wheel.
Stop with the cars
He's
already
not
with this
good
guy.
at this.
Fuck, man. Can we all all right, here we go. Leagues, professional sports leagues. You have a responsibility. You're making these people into drunks and everything else. So I know they're drunks anyway, but you're helping with your lifestyle. So
you're certainly contributing.
You need to provide lifelong Uber services for these people because I'm sick of this shit. When you look at athletes, the amount of DUIs is staggering. It's fucking and they're the people that should the least should get DUIs the least.
And you know what you're doing right now?
Because they have people that are willing to drive them places, and they still do it.
Besides a public service of keeping them off the streets dangerously, you're also saving these men and women shit piles of money by keeping them from spending on frivolous ass cars.
Other people's lives, all this shit that we're doing. Stop doing it. Stop. Every one of these fucking, you can get a ride, but I don't want to leave my car here.
The big dumb asshole car.
Why?
Ugh.
Yeah, who cares? Jesus Christ. We had to show it up to look what I got.
Right.
I have to show you so I can get some ass.
Gives a fuck.
So yeah, careless driving. 2 counts of careless driving.
Isn't it more impressive, P.S., to leave a bar and get into a giant fucking black car that another person is driving rather than get into a giant douchebag car
that you might get arrested
that you might
for.
die in?
Yeah, or get arrested for an hour later.
Isn't it more impressive? Wouldn't it be more impressive to your date?
One would think.
To safely get somewhere in fucking classy-ass style?
It's probably the date's over when you get arrested.
Yeah.
Probably. Once the cuffs go on, your chance of getting laid significantly drops.
Even if she's not impressed by the Lincoln Town car, she's certainly going to be impressed that you got home and can fuck still.
That's what I mean.
That's
Either
much
way,
more impressive.
Go for it, is what I'm saying. So this asshole instead is continues to drive, and I don't know what the hell he's doing now, to be honest with you. That was the last I heard of him was 2012, and he was driving around carelessly.
Jesus.
He's out there. He's still alive.
Yeah.
What is he, 69 years old at this point in time, wandering somewhere.
With some stories.
He's got some stories, especially one about a hotel room. But that is Cesar Cedeno. Can't get enough of Cesar Cedeno? Well, get on Amazon.com. You can get a Cesar Cedeno autographed 8x10 color photo of him on the Astros. $24.99 plus $5.99 shipping. Arrives before Christmas.
That's not bad.
Not bad at all. And I think they had a lot because they say only 2 left in stock. So apparently this is a popular item.
It is.
That's being sold a lot here.
Or there's only 2 of them ever.
Or that we had 2 and that's it. Also, go to Main Entrance Sports, and they have a Cesar Cedeno Houston Astros Louisville Slugger model. It's not a game-used one, but it's like an exact replica of his 70s. You can see it here. It's cool. It's got his...
That's cool as shit.
It looks aged. It's dope as shit. It's a genuine game model. Beast 267 Louisville Slugger bat. I used to know all the models. Used to hang out at Rod's house, and he referred to bats by model numbers.
Really?
Yeah, it's an 822.
Jesus.
And so... Just because that's all the players did. They knew the model numbers. So that's how I started, just because we play with bats all the time.
Obviously, there's different weights to them, but are they different lengths and different
lengths, grips, widths,
bulbs?
handle is thicker, thinner,
Makes
things
sense.
like that. Because he had like a shitload of other people's bats there. Like he had a Pete Rose bat that was sweet. I used to use all the time at his house, just fucking around in the living room. I'd be sitting there swinging it. But
just knowing what Pete felt.
Yeah, but it was like, that's a whatever I can't remember the one, T22 or so. I can't remember what the hell the one model was, but it was like it was my favorite. I figured out what my favorite one was. So it's uncracked, but has some damage to the knob. It matches what he used. Yeah, he's got some damage to his knob. You want to watch out for that. And it's the one he used consistently over the years with the Astros, 36 inches long. And there's that. So you can get that, and that is...
How much is that thing?
$35.
That's a deal.
That's great.
Yeah.
For bats are $35 anyway.
Right.
$35, and I think it's 5 pounds, but doesn't say what shipping is. So that is Cesar Cedeno. Everybody, we have...
That's a great story.
Isn't it, though? We've been saving we kind of been saving that story because I thought it was good. And like I said, there's just not a ton of baseball players.
Sure.
So I had to...
That's a solid story, though.
And
the Astros have so much shame this year, we may as well throw more at them.
Yeah, you know what?
Fucking cheating-ass pricks.
You know when the Astros have turned into the most hated team in baseball. Like, it's
that's
great.
what happens when you cheat like that.
Everybody always hated the Yankees, but at least we fucking played baseball to win. You can hate the Yankees all you want. At least nobody was cheating.
Stealing signs
This
and
is
tapping it out on a garbage can.
It's disgusting.
Really gross.
It's sad.
It's like they had a system to cheat.
Imagine if you go back to the 20s.
Yeah.
Okay. Imagine you told Babe Ruth, hey, tell you what we're going to do. We're going to look and then we're going to tap on a thing. And you look over here and pay attention. You go, the fuck are you? Shut the fuck away from me. And you go up there and smack the ball.
I'm going to point a ball to what seat, and that's where it's going to go.
He's going to throw it, and I'm going to smack the fuck out of it. All right? And then they're going to chase it. That's how this is going to go. I don't give a shit about your tapping and your
trash can
signs.
lids together.
Is he going to throw the ball? That's good enough for me to hit. That's all I need, assholes. Fucking jerks.
They're tapping out signs
Pussies.
like Morse code. The fucking
very scientific.
gross.
So Yeah, screw the Astros.
Yeah.
Take that, Astros.
Suck it.
It's another baseball player. If you like that episode or any of the episodes, you know what you can do? Damn it, tell us about it.
Yeah.
Get on Apple Podcasts. Give us 5 stars. It really, really helps us out a lot. Also, listen to Small Town Murder, which also helps us. And if you want to hear shout-outs this week,
that's where they're
they
at.
will be at the end of Small Town Murder because Jimmie will bring them the next time.
Yes.
And we will read them to you.
When I leave the house with less on my mind.
Exactly. So we will definitely do that. Have the shout-outs for you. So do that. Listen to Small Town Murder, though. I'm telling you, lately you can just start with the last few.
So much fun.
And make your way back. Or just start at the beginning and make your way forward because it really is nuts. And we've done some wild stuff. We just had our 200th episode and a commensurately crazy episode to go with it. So check that out. That was just last week.
And a hearty thank you to people that recognized that and sent
that was amazing.
Donations
Thank you
based
so
upon
much.
that number. It's fucking incredible to
That was
see
wild.
the amount of support you guys offer us in terms of words, finance, all kinds of shit. You
Everything.
guys you're the best
Promotion.
audience in the world, truly.
No, you guys, everybody out there really is. We're told by others, like your audiences, and they mean it in the best way. They're fucking nuts.
They're
We've
impressive,
heard that, and we go, shit, they're the best, aren't they? They are the best. They're the most enthusiastic,
That's
and we
why
love them.
We do things and would rather answer to you because you guys are honest with us and you're truly incredible. So thank you.
Do that. Yeah. Hang out with us. Keep hanging with us here and listen to Small Town Murder. Listen to P.S. I Hate This Movie as well. I had to watch Mickey Blue Eyes this week, whereas Hugh Grant. Someone said, wouldn't it be funny if Hugh Grant tried to say, forget about it? Wouldn't that be hilarious? Let's make a whole movie about that. Okay, great. And then they did.
Somebody several times said, wouldn't it be great if we just made that guy a leading man in everything?
Yeah, just he's fine, right? By the way, he has aged horribly. Have you seen
it's not good.
Oh my,
it's
the
not
new
good
thing.
at all.
Whoa, I'm like, Jesus Christ, you.
Oh boy.
Looks like they packed him in salt for the last 20 years and just pulled him out of it. What the hell happened to you? You're all dried out.
The Brits were jacked about giving us that specimen in 1993. Not today.
No. So anyway, listen to that and make fun of Hugh Grant, I guess, with me. But check all of that out. Also, follow us on social media. We are at Crime and Sports on Twitter and Facebook, at Small Town Murder on Instagram, and keep doing that. You can get a hold of the show in all those different ways. You can also be a Patreon subscriber to the show, which is what we highly recommend. You will get shout-outs at the end of the show. You'll also get bonus episodes, which are fantastic. They're hilarious. We really put our heart and soul into the bonuses, into making those fun. And this week's are going to be no exception.
I can't wait.
Your Crime and Sports bonus episode is about the USFL, and it's kind of the crazy shit in the USFL. The weirdo psychopaths they picked up, that nobody else wanted.
Right.
Guys doing coke on the sidelines and crazy fucks like that. An owner who wouldn't pay his players because he didn't have the money, so they used to have to. Guys actually went to his fucking house with baseball bats. These are real stories. I'm going to tell you.
That's what should happen today.
It's insanity. So listen to that, and also you'll get access to all the Small Town Murder bonus as well. And this week it will be on 2 very specific things. We're going to talk about Charles Manson and the Charles Manson family, and we're going to talk about the Heaven's Gate cult, and we are going to see. We're pretty much going to talk about where they mix and where they don't mix, and
laying on their own little Venn diagram.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a million different cults, but I've been really studying up on the 2 of them lately, and there's some very interesting similarities and some very stark differences, and I really just want to talk about those 2 things and do some conspiracy bullshit and have some fun. That's going to be a fun conspiracy.
Which is worse, running straight edge your whole life and still dying a stupid death? Or,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Heaven's Gate was all fucking nerds. Right. That's the thing. They got it with Manson. They're like, oh, yeah, these are people that are kind of pushed off to the side. These
society.
Are nerds with like 2 kids and a house payment and an office manager job. Go to work, you fucking idiot.
I can't wait for this.
Jesus, it's going to be fun. So check all that and everything and more. Tons of bonus stuff that you will get. All of it at patreon.com/crimeinsports. And like we said, we put a lot into them, so we hope you enjoy them. And if you just want to make a regular old donation and be a nice person and get a shout out as well, you can do that also over at PayPal using our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com. That said, everybody, we don't have the shout-outs this week. Normally we do. Like we said, listen to Small Town Murder on Thursday, and you'll get all the shouting you want.
Yeah.
And definitely we'll be back with the shouts next week. But for right now, thank you guys for everything, honestly, that you do. And thank everybody for everything. We hope you have enjoyed this show and all the other damn shows. Right. There's a whole lot more coming, but that's all right. Just less baseball players than normal.
Yeah.
Keep tuning in, and live from the Crime and Sports Studios, we will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like Crime and Sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel. Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
with a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.